And your boy Friday the Southern Band, James on the beat.
Told the spoon to get your information. Told the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you ain't know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You wanna get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon
Bada. Skidibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Kuwa. Bese kuwa, kujileo. Kujileo.
Told the spoon to get your information. Told the spoon to be part of our discussion.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy Friday the Southern Band, James on the beat.
Told the spoon to get your information. Told the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you ain't know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. To spoon. TV, you got a spoon radio, Tuto spoon. Yeah, Tuto spoon.
You wanna get the news update, Tuto spoon.
What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Yes, what you got today? Besetu. Bada. Skidibidi dabado.
My records are there. It's not early. Even the executive mansion, they want to come to. That mansion got built 16 years ago. They spent 12 years in that mansion, they could not fix it. Until in 4 years, I fixed the mansion. And the same mansion, they want to cancel now. The poor people, they are calling themselves Texas. If you start a mansion, you can't fix it. They hire you to go Texas. They're calling themselves rescue. You stay in London for 12 years, and you are coming out of rescue. What are you coming to rescue? You know for no development. Today, we have development in our country, across our entire country, and that's the thing you want to rescue? It's late. We are in the 21st century. Young people, Liberian people, this is our time. We have been led for 171 years. In these 5 years, you see that it's unprecedented. George Manawia built more hospitals than any president. George Manawia is facing a role. So there's nothing left to be faced. Let us keep our legacy. Let us take our second term so we can finish our work. And this is why I come to you today. Young people, you go to school today. I want you to be cognizant. If you don't vote for our candidates, if you don't vote for George Weah, all the immediate that is there when they come, they will erase everything just to show off. Don't let that happen to you. This is your time. It's big and a great economy. Today, we have the most female in our government. Even the president, you could not see it. Today, you have a press freedom. Today, you have peace. And I must thank you, Liberian people, for restoring peace in our land. I can tell you, in the sound of my voice, most especially the first-time voters, if you can't trust anyone, just trust me. I am talking to you, but remember, man, everything I tell you, that's what I do. I keep telling you, 6 years ago, you elected me as a president. In the wake of the 6 years, in 2 years, Corona came. The Liberian people are the not made excuse because of Corona. Even when the 2 years that Corona took from us, I still performed well. even with Corona, we still perform well. And we must say, thanks to God, we are grateful to God that the Corona did not take anything away from us. So I'm not coming to make excuse for Corona. Corona came and developing the country. But I must thank you, Nigerian people, for listening to me. In the period of Corona,
just like that. So in pursuit of that, we, as police, we institute investigations to run. But of course, during the investigation, we all do a number of arrests. And the arrest is very...
As you can see here, thousands of Nigerians are all outside here. Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Indeed, tune to spoon to form part of the discussion, tune to spoon to know exactly what's happening in Liberia, to form part of the fascinating discussion that surrounds the future of our country, Liberia. Spoon is just where you're supposed to tune every time to get authentic information about Liberia. I'd like to say welcome again to another edition of the program. The Late Night Politics on Spoon is back. We're live on Super TV, we're live on Fabric TV, we're live on Spoon TV, and we're also live on YouTube at Spoon Talk Live. I want to say welcome to you tonight for joining us. We encourage you to share the program as you come on in your different chat rooms, in your different groups, on your pages, on Facebook, and on the different platforms, so that we can have a great discussion tonight. This edition of the program is going to be very much fascinating. And so I'd like to say welcome. My name is Nelson Colette, and the Late Night Politics is open to everyone. It's a show designed by our CEO or former CEO to ensure that all of you get to have a platform, a space where your voices can be heard, where you can discuss the issues about Liberia. And as he says consistently, this is the Liberian people's platform. This is where you get to discuss the issues freely. Of course, we want to say welcome to the show again. Very quick, I will be posting the link in the comment section so that those of you following this evening, you can just click onto the link and you're going to form part of the show. And like we said yesterday, we need females to join the discourse as well. It's not only men who can discuss the issues. Women can also make meaningful contributions to the discussion. So we look forward to seeing some of the females joining us. And so welcome to the program tonight. Let me quickly bring in Morba to join us. Morba Zokat. Thanks for joining us, Morba. It's great to have you.
Yeah, what's up, Nelson? How was the day today, my man?
Yes, I'm good, and I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here again.
I know.
How was your day?
Well,
Is the birthday celebration still going on or what?
it's still going on. A cup of water, my man.
I want to say happy birthday to you again.
Yeah, my man. Thank you very much. We got a lot of things on our mind today to discuss, and we will when the other panelists come on, we'll try to discuss those issues and make some comment and recommendations and stuff. Share ideas and see how we can prevent some of the stuff that you think we will be able to discuss today. Today I watched the President George Manuel Weah,
Yeah,
making his toy like
yeah,
walking on the
yeah.
ring with a lot. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Just laying your thought. We're gonna come to that because that's key on our discussion for tonight. Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, but
And then
just leave your thoughts. Yeah.
and then the yeah, and then the how you call it, the um yeah, a lot of stuff, more especially what we discussed today, and we got to put it on the surface and see how best we can go through it and see how much everybody can come up with ideas so we can share. A lot of things on my mind, a lot of things, but as we go through the conversation, and we'll try to discuss those issues.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Mora, for that great opening statement. And it's important that we gather here all the time. I've already started posting the link in the comment
Oh, okay,
section.
yeah.
So I don't know whether you share the link
I
to
did.
the
I'm on the
midnight.
link. I think, I will try to see if I think I can share the link. But the link is sent me, I'm using my WhatsApp only on my phone. So
Okay,
it
no,
can be,
yeah,
yeah,
let me just do that. Let me just
yeah. But I share
share
the
the
show though.
link to. So, folks, those of you coming on, we ask you to share the broadcast, share the show in all of the chat rooms, um, on your pages, and just everywhere. Let's have a great conversation. Um, Last evening, or on the last edition of the show, Mobile, we had we had a very great conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of the show, we were joined by Councillor
Fred,
Jerome
yeah,
Verdier,
yeah.
yeah, joined us, and he made some contributions. But it happened that he joined at the very end of the show,
Yeah.
so
He did. Yeah, yeah.
um, he promised that he would like to join us tonight again.
Oh, that would be good.
So he will make some meaningful contributions to the topic of last night.
Wow.
And he says he has some very important information with respect to the comments that were made by um, Dr. Lester Tanning. He
Oh,
has some very
concerning
important,
former Minister Magay, right?
yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay, all right.
And he said he has some very important information to share with
Mm-hmm.
respect to that. So we hope Councillor Jerome Verdier will at some point in the show join. The CEO will hopefully be joining us as well.
Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, so he's going to be joining us. So this is just another edition of the Spoon, the late night politics on Spoon that you can't afford to miss. I see so many of the guys have joined us already, but let me say this again: we need females on this
Yeah,
show.
we
We
need.
need
I told one
females.
Hawa, I will try
Where,
to connect her
where
also.
are the females? We need the
I will
females
try
on
to
the
connect
show.
Hawa. She always watch the show, but I will try to connect her.
But
Yeah,
let me just bring the guys in. I see Sheikh.
yeah, my man. As the guys coming in, I wanted to throw a
I
light on
see.
the. I want to throw a light on the death of the senator, Bobolu senator,
Yeah,
Bapulu.
yeah,
It's Bapulu.
yeah. Bapolo, yeah, Bapolo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Senator Daniel Nathan.
Nathan.
Okay. I'm bringing all the guys on, but just be making a point while I'm bringing the
Yeah,
guys.
and I send my condolences to his
For
family
sure.
and the ANC family as well as my brother. My
For
brother
sure.
already here. SB. Yeah, my condolences to yours, man. But as we discuss the issue, we'll go into it. And I was reading some part of the election law, like the 4.7b section that said if a candidate pass after I don't know how many, I think 7 or 5 days, you can fee another candidate as long as the person from a political party.
No, no,
You sure?
no, no,
It's
not
not
seven
it's
days.
not independent political party. It's not independent. If the person for a political party, the party can send a letter, something like that, and it can
No,
be.
no. It's actually it's actually the house. All
Hmm.
right,
Hmm.
the house will send a communication
Yeah, before, okay.
informing the National Elections
Election
Commission
commission.
of a vacancy.
But wait, let me ask
And
you if we are coming. Are coming. If the person is not in the Senate, maybe they just have nuke, they just
okay,
containing nuke.
so
Yeah.
yeah, Mama, let's officially welcome the guys. Then I think that's a
All right.
very interesting discussion that we'll move on to. Let me just bring the rest of the guys on. Then we could kickstart with that conversation
They guys
right
say
here.
one mommy says she want to join. Try to put a link by.
Okay, so yes, I'm doing just that. I'm putting the link in the comment section again. Okay, doing that. Okay, so
Hopefully, we
let
can
me
get a
just,
female tonight, man.
yeah, sure. That's what we're looking out for. That's what we're looking out for. But let me officially welcome all of you guys. It's great to be here again to talk about the issues that has to do with our country. Um, and I want to thank a few of you for being very consistent, always making it up here and making your contribution to the show. So let me start up with Sheikh Sheriff. Just go ahead, make your opening statement and what's on your mind, everything for just 1 minute. My time out here, but the only thing today, I'm showing it on the stream.
No problem. Good evening, folks. Good evening, Labura. Good evening to every one of you guys here on this platform. First, I want to express my deepest condolence to the CBP family on the loss of Senator Nathan. A great statesman, a great servant to Apollo County. He served his people duly well, and I was heartfelt condolences to him and his party and the entire Liberia Republic in general, because his loss is not only meant to his county or to the House of Senate, but the entire republic, because he was a serviceman to our country.
Okay. Um, what's okay? So I think that's your opinion. What's on your mind? So let's hear from you, Ture.
Good evening to all of you panelists. Good evening to our followers, our listeners from all over the world. Man, my deepest condolences goes out to the entire CPP collaborating political parties and my brother here, Lahu Sandy. My condolence, bro. And to the Republic of Liberia, man, because when a leader passed, at least someone who have contributed to taking our country where we all envision our country to be, when that person depart this earth, it's only um, the civilized thing to do is to send our deeper condolences to the family and to the Republic. But what's on my mind? The election is certainly on my mind. The economic is on my mind. Hopefully, we can actually talk about that policy issues. It's on my mind. And then Liberia, man, as a whole, Liberia's on my mind. My people in Bon County, Batala City, where I was born, it's on my mind. So that's it, guys. Hopefully, we can have an interesting conversation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ture. So we move to you, Cindy. Let's hear you, sir. One
Yeah.
minute.
Good evening to all of you, gentlemen. Yes, I mean, we all woke up this morning to a very big loss. The country is bereaved. the CPP is bereaved, and all of us are bereaved. Senator Daniel Nathan served his country. He served the people of Wapolu, and it's a big loss. So yes, I want to join all of you, like the previous speaker have said, to extend my deepest condolences to his family, first of all, and to the CPP and to the Liberian people. I believe there's going to be a very big gap to fill, but yeah, hopefully we will fill that gap, and his services will never go in vain. We will remember him. There are a lot of things on my mind that I hope, looking forward to discussing tonight. The incompetence of Josh Weir is on my mind. He just put another guy life at risk by turning over that gentleman to the Sierra Leone, legal folks. But yeah, it's going to be here, and I'm sure we're going to dive into that tonight.
Thank you. Raymond?
Good evening, gentlemen. And I hope we could have a lady on so we could have some gender equity around here and balance. However, we hope that as time goes on, they're going to join us and have a fruitful discussion, because Liberia matters. And Liberia should be everybody's concern, especially in this election season. But before I go further, I'd like to extend my condolences to the family of Senator Yaten and the CPP family. And Liberians at large, this is a statesman who served. He served with distinction. The Liberian people issues was what he served. He held the government accountable. He wasn't one of those who just received brown envelope and sat there only to fill their bellies or their pocket. He was one who stood apart and one of the lights in the Senate. So hearing of his passing is a sad day for all of us, because we've lost a son, a real son, a true one. And what's on my mind is some of the lies that President Weir said today, talking to the Liberian people and trying to campaign. He's not even earnest enough to admit the wrongs he's doing. He's trending on lies. So it tells us that even if he's given another chance, he's not going to do better.
Thank you, Raymond. I just saw Ghost. Is it that he went off or? Okay, so okay, Ghost, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, whatsoever you are following us. Let me say can I say happy birthday, happy belated birthday to our brother Moruba. Again, like all of you said, we wake up this morning with a very sad news with the passing away of the Senator of Wapolu County, Peace to His Corps, Honorable Daniel Nathan. We want to say our deeper condolences to the CPP family and the ANC. So please have our condolences. And again, I want to quickly refresh your mind on the joint security meeting today that was held at the administrative complex today by the joint security and the real presidential and vice presidential candidates. Specifically to the point that Rescue 2 spoke on today, it may interest you to know that the security call on our leaders today to have them informed about how we should go about the campaign, and they should present their date of campaigns and what have you, telling our leaders that they should advise their supporters from wearing paramilitary or military regalia during the course of the campaign. But they are forgetting to know that the very securities are the ones escorting people within the CDC to be bearing casket with the photo of Ambassador Bwaka only. And so he was just cautioning them that the peace that we're enjoying today, it is because all of us keeping the peace. And if we cannot keep the peace, you police director, you will not be police director today. You a minister, you will not be minister today. And so we all must keep the peace as we go along these elections. So you are seeing this thing happening before your very eyes, but you are not saying anything. But you are coming to we the opposition leaders now, and you are cautioning us to be careful and to do this, to do that. So we all should maintain a peace. And lastly, I want to speak on the issue about the former police director that was extradited to Sierra Leone. For some of us, like you said, we'll dive into it, but for some of us, we see it as against the main human right, because it happened to Mr. Henry P. Costa. When he escaped from Liberia, he went to Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leone government refused to turn Mr. Henry P. Costa over to the Liberian government. Why is it at this crucial time the Liberian government would turn someone who allegedly came to the country, let's say for asylum, because according to the information, the guy had been living in Liberia for almost 2 years. And so as we go further, we'll discuss more things. Thank you for following me the opportunity, my brother.
Okay, thank you very much. But just a quick one on that. This individual was not. Um, he was he came to Liberia as just any other alien from the neighboring country. A country will come to the country. It was not on asylum. It was not on anything official of such. Contrary to. Okay, but we'll dive more into that. But thank you. I don't want to take more of the time on this. Let's take you, Don. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to my fellow panelists, and good evening to you, Nelson. So let me join my voice to the many voices to extend condolences to the people of the Western region. That include Bapulu, Grand Kidmont, and Bomi County for the loss of a decent statesman, a man who stood for integrity. Senator Daniel Nathan, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Uh, so what's on my mind? What's on my mind is about the electoral process. By the way, cheating of election does not come on the election day. It starts with the processes leading to the elections. That's where it all starts from. Uh, NEC continue to tell people that the government going to hold free and fair elections. I doubt that because we all saw how the voter registration went. In fact, one of the things one might say that it had nothing to do with the elections is the censor. The censor up to now, it still remains doubtful the result. So then that might more likely affect the outcome of the election. And then I'm also seeing today I visited NET website 3 times. It was shocking to know that the website was down 3 times. In the crucial times, we don't need for website to be down. Information has to be posted every time. So that is what on my mind. As we go in details, we'll talk more about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Don. Emmanuel, let's hear you.
Well, good morning from my end to all the panelists here, and good morning to the listeners around the world following this program right now. I want to use this time to say sorry to the people of Babolu and to our country at large for the loss of the state man. Death by itself is not something to celebrate. Whoever died, we need to share the sorrow of those who lost their loved ones. So at this time, we say sorry to the people of Bapolu and sorry to the people of Liberia. We have lost someone who we entrusted leadership with. We hope that we'll get a perfect replacement for him. So what's on my mind this morning is the issue of this electioneering process. We are seeing a lot of things happening. We're seeing a lot of personal attacks. The election process is becoming so toxic in our country. And I'm urging every Liberian, regardless of our sides, we should keep the peace. Election doesn't mean we have to fight personal war because there's life after election. So let's keep the peace and try to hold together as Liberians and see the result that we hope to see after October 10th. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Let me just bring the final person in here. Um, oh, hello.
Hello.
Okay, you live. So just tell us your name.
He's driving though.
Oh no, you can't be driving and join the show. No, I saw him in the background. He was backstage for a while, so I thought
Yeah, I
he
saw
had.
Jessica. I thought it was a female.
Right.
And that's the next one.
That,
I
that,
thought it was a female. Since in fact we need a female on the show. I hope you're not using Jessica's account to join the show.
But see what the guys who find female, especially out at this time in Liberia, is difficult.
But
Because
not just
most
in
of them-
Liberia, it could be female from any part of the world, from anywhere. I mean,
yeah, both of them are family people and they don't want to leave their family to be online. Yeah.
We have female in the comment section here throughout the night.
Yeah, exactly, man. Look, we got a lot of female militants, man.
This is one of the reasons why that we need to encourage our female to get involved with national issues, because we do have this stereotypical think about Liberian female outside of Liberia. When it comes to like other issues, like social issues, we have like thousands of them online. But when it comes to national issues, no. Why? It's sad.
No, we'll get Hawa. I'll try to connect her. She's a very good, good person.
Makola, you should join.
I see Makula here.
Makula is saying I'm here.
Come now.
So let us make an appeal. Can we have at least a female on tonight? We tired seeing all the half faces and other voices.
Makula here, she can click the link and join the broadcast. She says she
can send that link directly to Makula account.
I'll send it to her.
You send it to Makula.
Volunteer
But Makla always in his comment section anyway.
She's here tomorrow.
She's here tomorrow. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's great to be here again, and I think we have a whole lot to discuss. So campaign is officially open. Since Saturday, we saw political parties going about carrying on their different activities as part of the campaign. Well, the CDC, as a political party, decided to kickstart the campaign in a very controversial way by parading with a casket or a coffin with a photo of the former vice president on it. Since Saturday up to now, there has been statements from different groups, different organizations condemning that. Well, even the president condemned that. And moving on to other institutions. Well, former Vice President Joseph Boakai says he's not surprised. He is not surprised at all seeing the CDC parading with a coffin and his photo is on it. He's not surprised because that's what, according to him, the CDC is noted for. But the United Party will not go that route with the CDC. So campaign is on. It's a great thing that I followed briefly the event at the ministerial complex here with the joint security and that of political actors, political parties, meeting with them, their officials. And I think these are all interesting activities. These are all building blocks to the elections. If the election should be peaceful, these are activities that will gradually contribute to that. But I want us to make the first round. As part of the campaign today, President George Weah was in District 8, Montserrat County. That's Akaras Gray's district, where Representative Akaras Gray is the lawmaker. He said some very great things. And just before I forget, the president was seen in the ring today. The president was in the ring. He was campaigning. He was speaking to the people of District 8, giving them reasons why they should re-elect him. They should give him another 6 years to steer the affairs of this country. But I'm going to play this video bit by bit, and then we can all make the analysis around some of the things that the president said today. So we're going to go back to the video and listen to some of what President George Weah said to the people of Liberia residing in District number 8 when he visited that part of the country today. As a matter of fact, District 8 is a very rich district. All of you here know that. That's the seat of the government, the Capitol building, the executive mansion, the central police station, the University of Liberia, and all of that. But I want you to listen to that.
Moving to the elections. Now, Rangers,
Well, there you have it. So the president started off with the executive mansion. First of all, he told the people of District 8 that they should vote him, they should give him a second term based on his record, based on the things that he has done as president of the country for 5 years, going to 6 years now. So he started up with the executive mansion, that the executive mansion was burned. And I remember that it was on July 26, 2006, that our executive mansion caught fire. The first ever July 26 celebration that former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had at the executive mansion, that was when it got fire. So that's where President George Weah started the conversation from today. What's your take? The president, there are so many things he said. He talked about he building more roads than all other presidents since 1847. He has built more hospitals than any other president in the country since 1847. The development is unprecedented, and he thinks the Liberian people should give him another chance. So I'm going to start with you, Moba. What's your take? What have you to say on this?
You know, what we are just it's just a vla. You know, when the crew mentor say vla, I tell them from CEO. But what really draw my attention was the the hospital issues that he brought on. Like that would forget about the roads they want. You know, we agree all these things are important. But what really caught my attention was the hospital. He said, "I built more hospital than every other government." When we're talking about hospital, are we talking about a building? Or are we talking about the equipment? Or are we talking about the medication? Are we talking about all those equipment need to be in hospital for you to say, oh, this is a hospital. That is not a house. So when he talking about hospital, let him name one hospital that he built from scratch. And when you enter that, that'd be like, for example, look at the hospital now. We can enter. We can go in here. When you enter the hospital, you see machine. You see the other machine. You see the one everything. It working. But look at the last time we're looking at where the place is. The hospital in Bobolu. No medication. Nothing. So I just, it just baffled me for me to see George Weah coming up telling people that he built hospital. Where are those hospitals? I want to see it. If nursing know it, I beg you, let me put it on. Let me see it. Let me see what in the hospital. Let me give us the difference between hospital and house or building. We want to know the differences. Because we know what hospital carry, and we know what building carry. So, I can't waste my time on those things because I know all that vlog. And everything that's so 419. Like whole government from the beginning to the ending, that 419. You understand? So, that whole thing, it just, nothing, it just vlog, man. Like, I don't get no understanding what he was saying. Because nothing he said over there was true. Nothing he said is true over there.
No, but Moba, Sharif, and the rest of the guys will come in. But I'm gonna ask this question since, in fact, you support the Unity Party. Was it wrong when he mentioned the issue of Unity Party staying in a mansion for 12 years and not being able to complete this mansion? And
Can I hold you there, Nelson?
Wait, I come
You
in.
see,
Listen.
hold on, 1 minute. Hold on, just hold on 1 minute. Hold on,
Raymond,
just hold on 1
Raymond.
minute. Hold on, let me
Raymond,
give
we're
you
gonna
some.
come to you. We're gonna
But
come
let
to
me
you.
give you information right now, right? You see, this is a national discourse. To discuss certain things, you must be privileged to the information.
Yeah.
And not every one of us on the panel is privileged. I was director for public buildings, construction and maintenance at the Ministry of Public Works under the George Weah regime. And I served when Ellen was there. I work at the Ministry of Public Works. So I'm privileged to speak to a lot of these issues. So when you ask the hard questions to some of the panelists and they're not privileged to give the information, they might just mislead the public. So I'm asking you to please hold some of those critical
So
questions.
that's where you want to come in, right?
Yep, definitely.
But
Because
he's right.
listen, the reason why I'm going there.
He's right, but I can come in. Nelson, I can come in.
I'm coming up more about just before you come in. The reason why I'm going there is because this is a question that so many Liberians will be asking, and especially when the president makes mention of these kinds of issues, that's something that anyone who is not privileged to the information like you are saying will buy into. So since in fact you guys are here, you support the Unity Party, I want you to come on this. That is if you have the information on it as well. Was it wrong to say that the Unity Party stayed in that place for 12 years, in that mansion for 12 years, and they could not still complete the mansion until President George Weah came to complete it?
So the very first thing is a misinformation and it's a deception. Yes, you're right, the mansion got damaged. But the mansion is not an ordinary building that you just go into and do renovation at the scale at which it was done. The mansion was completely renovated. It was a complete redo. The contractor that completed the mansion that George Weah is speaking about, he did not sign no contract with the contractor. All of the project, it was only works were ongoing when he came. When he got there, the changes he made was only in the office of the president. I can go in depth and tell you details of some of the changes he made. He wanted a gym in the office of the president. That's one of the changes he made. I have pictures where the ministerial complex, the Capitol building extension, and the executive mansion renovation, George Weah got nothing to do with them. Because government is continuity, he came and every project has a scope. It has timeline. So when Ellen signed the contract, there were some delays. There were some setbacks. And these are normal for projects. And I can go in depth and tell you some of the delays. And I can tell you at which scale the executive mansion renovation was when George Weah came in. He didn't make no major change. I told you, only in the office of the president.
What exactly are some of those things that were responsible for the delay?
So projects, none of us had the executive mansion drawings, the very first thing. And none of us were around when the executive mansion was constructed.
Right.
So in order to do renovation, where pipes are running, where columns and beams are, and the likes, it's a very slow process. And even the contractor that was on the project, we had to go gradually. And most of the things, there's something called submittals in project. Because of the quality of material that makes up the executive mansion, presidential class, the contractor had to bring a sample of that project, and we had to go on site along with the consultant, the contractor, and all of the major stakeholders, including that of the Ministry of Public Works, and discuss it. And when we accept it, then we include that atom, the atom as a unit of it, into the scope of the project. So it wasn't like I said, the executive mansion renovation wasn't like an ordinary building. And there were many other unforeseen that none of us foresaw. And when it came up, when the contractor finds it, he has to bring it to us. And we had to sit on the table and redesign and replan.
And to add up
So
to the Ebola, during the Ebola time, everything was stopped.
You know, it's a long discussion tonight because
But when
even that Ebola thing you're talking about, we're going to come to that aspect. The president made
I want
mention
to
that.
ask, I want to ask Roma a question.
I mean, Raymond, just answer your question. You want to ask Raymond question?
No. I know. No. I want to ask him what are the estimated
I think we
budget.
can proceed.
And
I think we can
because
proceed
let's do it
and
for
do
the
more
audience.
research and
Because
come back
wait. You know why I asked the question? Because Joey already said that he didn't want to complete it, the whole thing. So probably before United Party come in or before CC come on, the budget already set. That's the reason I asked him the question. I mean, I asking
like
that
I
question.
said, everything was set, including the contractor works were ongoing. We have put even the seating, the false seating, which is fireproof. We have put in the fire water system. We are putting in even the fire extinguisher and the lights, the system, the fire alarm system.
So
electrical works were in, plumbing works were all in. So George Weah and met finishing work. When finishing work is, that's what he came and met.
Okay,
so,
thank you very much. So you're telling us tonight that that executive management project was like what we have now with what we had with the ministerial complex that was done, it was completed and everything, and this administration just came and saw everything was already done when they came into the picture. Okay,
close, but not exactly, because the ministerial complex, everything was done. George Weah held it on. And again, before he even opened up the ministerial complex, I was the one responsible, did the facelift work. I'm telling you, I was director for public buildings, construction and maintenance at the time. So, yep. But it was not, the ministerial complex only was completely done.
Okay.
But the executive mansion, there were small works to be done. Yep.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Sharif. Sharif, you listen to the president's speech. Maybe after Cindy or before Cindy, we will play the speech again. He said more roads. His administration has built more roads, more hospitals, and development in the country is unprecedented. And these are reasons enough why the people of Liberia should give him a second chance. What do you make of the president's statement today?
Well, when I listened to that statement, I took away one thing and one thing only. When he mentioned the word, or when he said the word record. But before I even dive into the issue, there's this famous song by our legendary Junes Dopoe. Says "Sui Sui Cassava Leo, enough for Babu alone." You know, it's like enough for go alone. Yeah. So the reason why I'm singing that song today is because of this. Couple of months or years ago, this man was out there dancing buka for the people, doing all sort of stunts for the amusement of the public eyes. And today, this man was in the ring asking for vote, asking the Liberian people to entrust him another 6 years. But this is what I took away when he mentioned record. Let's go through his record for the benefit of the audience. So, what are Joey records? The missing $64 billion that went missing, that has not been accounted for up to now. The coronavirus fund that was allocated for the country to help our people, to streamline the economy. Where's that money? Where's the money that was given to the disabled people to rehabilitate some of our brothers that were victims of war and also drug abuse? Where's that money? That's the record. His record that he asked for that we should follow. One of his record that we can also point out again is the record of infusion of drugs into our society today. We have so many of our family members that are suffering from drug epidemic in our nation that has become, or I'm surprised that he has not declared an emergency for that. What is our Jovial record? Jovial record is a mismanagement of resources and killing of our auditors and also some private citizens. What are Jovial record? Jovial record is chasing all these small girls in the community. We all know that. What is Jovial record? Jovial record, he's talking about we should elect him. This man has denigrated our economy to non-existent. The government is struggling to even bring in money. There's no revenue. That's why the government is running around everywhere trying to lobby to make money. How do they lobby? You have a bunch of unqualified people in positions that they're not able to function. So based on everything that I just laid out, and so many more to be laid out here by my colleagues here, how are we going to give another 6 years? We are not going to. Labrador people are not stupid. We're not stupid. I know some people might be among in our mix that are better driven, but I know the vast majority of our citizens, they are not foolish enough to elect this man again into power. And I'm
Thank you.
quite sure that Jovia come October 10, 2023, he will be a history.
Thank you very much. Let's move to Toure. Toure, you watched the president's presentation today. The president said Liberian people should give him another 6 years based on his records. What do you make of the president's statement today?
Well, the president's speech are obviously disingenuous. I am flabbergasted, completely perplexed, and I'm just shocked that the president will have this much energy. You see, that's the thing. The president have this much energy to campaign, but that's the thing. He enjoy being president, but he does not sort of like take the presidency seriously. If the president was really serious for being a leader, the kind of energy he was showing today, talking about his record, I love campaign should be about records. It should be about what you have done. And I'm glad that the president is taking it out route. How about we talk about his records? Let's talk about the president records. The 3 Mason boys. How about we talk about that? The auditors. How about we talk about that? The proliferation of drugs in the country. How about we talk about that? That's what we should be talking about. Let's talk about the president record. You see, that's the thing. People enjoy being leader, but they don't enjoy the work that comes with leadership. And that's why that is holding our country behind. And this is just every facet of our nation, unfortunately. And that's why Omeletown Gonglo come around, right? Who does not care about all of the pageantry and the and you know what that other people attracts when we talk about leadership. But this is the thing. I think Liberian tonight around the world can understand, because the level of energy that the president was exhausted out there today in the ring. If the president was already serious about leadership, then everything that's happening under his watch for the past 6 years, with that same attention to detail, speaking of his record, those records, bro, we can, and I enjoy that he's talking about it, because if the Liberian can really focus on those records, they would have absolute no interest of really electing their president. President George Manneh, we had just told you guys that today he's going to go talk about those records, talking about building hospitals. Yeah, Mr. President, you build hospitals. But how durable are those hospitals? Yeah, you build roads. How durable are those roads? Can you rely on those roads for the next 5 years? I doubt it. But it's all good, man. Let's talk about the president record. And I'm glad that he's actually making this about his record. And let's talk about our record. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Sandy, you can go ahead. Let's hear from you, Sandy. After Sandy, we're gonna play this video again, so that those just coming in can know exactly what we are talking about. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, thank you, Nelson. I mean, a lot of the guys have already said a lot on this topic. But here's the thing. This is a campaign strategy. And we know that George Weah was going to do this. We know that the CDC was going to do this. They were going to wait for this election to tell the Liberian people, well, we built a road, we built hospitals, we did this and we did that, and we deserve another 6 years. But we and the people of Liberia know exactly what George Weah has done over the last 6 years. Now, let's go into the road construction or road development in the country. George Weah, when he came in, I want to give this credit to the UP, the Hailing Salid UP. It's not a Wakai UP, right? There's a distinction. But when George Weah came in, most of the roads that they constructed were already laid out. The plans were laid out. The money has, I mean, they have been financed or they were already in the process of being financed. So you cannot say, and in fact, he delayed the process. He delayed the process. Just look at the RIA road. $30 million was given to East International. I believe that's the name of that company.
Yeah, East International.
What
You're right.
happened to that road? That road is a chaos. People are dying on that road. When do they pick up that road? In recent time when elections started coming up. It's a delay tactic. How long did it take them to build that road from Ganta to Seklepie? The intention was that road, I mean, when they started was to build that road up to Zwedru. That road should have been done by now. They're going to make an excuse that, well, we have coronavirus. It's a delay tactic. So we know what the George Weah government has done. Now let's go into the health system. George, we are talking about building hospitals.
More hospitals than all previous governments combined from Joseph Jinky Rabbit's time.
And that's funny. Well, I'm into the healthcare. And when we talk about healthcare and hospital, we are not just talking about the buildings. We're talking about the human resource. We're talking about medication. We're talking about the technology, the infrastructure needed to run a hospital system. And the George Weah really build those hospitals, or are there donors funds that came into Liberia, like the hospital in Bapolu? Does it even have medication? Stephen Johnson asked a question in the comment section. Can George Weah go for treatment to the hospitals? And obviously not, because there are no medications. I have lost two close family in recent time, a very close friend that died at that 14 medical hospital because there was no operation there to operate on him when he had an accident. So are we talking about just physical buildings? Or are we talking about the hospital system, everything that complete a hospital system? So look, we know what George Weah has done. The only thing that is unprecedented is the death of our educated auditors. Those three missing boys, Liberians that have been killed under this administration. Poverty that has been brought to our people that make professional people beggars in the country. People that used to work and make their money, that used to feed some of us. Now they are beggars. So that's what George Weah has done. And the people know that George Weah don't deserve any Moses here. And that's why Mr. Cummings is going to be elected president of the Republic of Liberia.
Thank you very much, Cindy, for your analysis on the president's statement today. But just before we go to Raymond, let's have a listen. Let those just coming on know exactly what we're talking about. Watch this video.
Moving to the elections. My records are there. It's not the enemy. Even the executive mansion, they want to come to. That mansion got built 16 years ago. They spent 12 years in that mansion, they could not fix it. Until in 4 years, I fixed the mansion. And the same mansion, they want to fix it now. The people, they are calling themselves fixer. If you start a mansion, you can't fix it, but how you become fixer? They're calling themselves rescue. You stay in government for 12 years, and you are coming out of rescue. What are you coming to rescue? You now for no development. Today, we have development in our country, across our entire country, and that's the thing you want to rescue? It's late. We are in the 21st century. Young people, Liberian people, this is our time. We have been led for 171 years. In these 5 years, you see that it's unprecedented. George Weah built more hospitals than any president. George Weah is facing a road so that something left to be faced. Let us keep our legacy. Let us take our second term so we can finish our work. And this is why I come.
So there you have it. The president says they need a second chance to finish their work. Let's hear from you, Raymond.
I've said a few already. The
Yeah.
president.
So maybe we can just give you 1 minute to just.
No, I will go on. Just saying, I'm just going to complete from, where I started. I was only answering questions that you asked. The president said nothing but lies. And he said some things that have been unprecedented. Yes, it's unprecedented to have a person called a president who doesn't even understand his duty and function as a president. He made songs, ugly songs that Liberians can't even listen to. He danced booga and did other things. He didn't do his job. He claimed that he built hospitals. Can we name the hospitals he built? The Emerald Hospital he's talking about, everything was done before he came in, only the implementation. He didn't go seeking the funds. The hospital I can give him credit for building is the 14 Military Hospital. And everybody's asking, what good is about healthcare service in Liberia? That's what we should be talking about. If he wants to speak to issues, can people go to those places he's talking about calling hospitals and receive healthcare? Are those services, are those places he's talking about better than what it was prior to him coming as president? And let's understand the context in which these discussions should be held. The people that he took over from, to took over a country that had nothing. He came and everything is in function. He should do far better than some of the things he's talking about and wanting to have glory for. The roles he's talking about, the then government started something called the Road Fund, where every person in Liberia who goes and buys a gallon of gas pays 30 cents to the Road Fund. And those 30 cents are collected by the vendor and is paid into government coffers. And after a while, the Liberian government had an agreement with the US government under the Million Compact project that every dollar Liberia was going to raise was going to be matched by the United States government with $2. $1 for construction and another dollar for maintenance. But because it was an agreement, those monies were there when the CDC government took over and were looking for every penny. And the Liberian people know it. When George Weah got in less than a year, he built those condominiums that on ABC Road. Because I used to work at the Ministry of Public Works, and we are in every building that is constructed in the Republic of Liberia, a plan should come at the Ministry of Public Works, and we should review it and ensure that those buildings are built according to minimum standards. Those buildings that George Weah built, no plans came to Public Works. I was doing road inspection works when I saw that huge project ongoing. So I drove in the face with my Public Works vehicle to inspect what's going on. And I met a bunch of Lebanese fellows who stopped me and was being very hostile. And you know who they had to call? They had to call EPS to come and talk to me because they would not give me any information. When the EPS came on there, identified me as Public Works, they told me it was the president's project. No regard of the law. That's what he was doing. And I was talking about the road fund, right? George, we are here. People, they needed money to build those things. So every penny in every account in government, they were putting their hands. They went to put their hands in the road fund and started stealing money from there. So the American withdrew their hands. And that's the money from the road funds that was George Weah is boasting about building roads. And that's a lie. The roads he built in construction, we got something called square foot. And the thickness, the volume, that what you compare to know what the amount. What he has built is difficult for me to explain to Liberians for them to understand in details. It doesn't amount to much. The community roads are narrow roads. You don't use a lot of materials to do those construction. And the left, they're not much. So when George Weah say unprecedented, all those things are not true. The things that are unprecedented that he did is the killing of the auditors. Nowhere in our history, people who working, serving their country, trying to do the right thing, holding their government accountable. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf established something called the internal audit in every government agency and ministry. Every procedure you do were audited. It wasn't even, they didn't have to wait. We see the PPCC. To streamline things that government did. He came, he put a heart to all those things. The government are fully functional. I'm from Eastside government, so I can speak to those things. But let me give the other panelists a chance to talk, and I'll take over the night.
You are muted.
You mute.
Sorry, no wonder why I kept telling Raymond, thank you very much. And the guy kept talking. I didn't know I was muted.
Nobody was hearing you.
But God, it's over to you. You listen to the president's statement in the ring. The president was in the ring today campaigning. No umbrella. The ring is pouring down heavily. The president there. And he was, you watched the video. What's your take on it?
Thank you, Nancy. Let me say thanks to all of the panelists. From upon the issue, Nancy, it's just I'm so disappointed when I heard the president saying he has a track record of development in the country and what I mean. What is the track record are you boasting of here? The truth is that Nancy, since the former vice president and the next president of the Republic of Liberia entered the country, the president has been in Ziali today, according to Prophet Key. The president has been in Ziali today. And when the president watched videos from across the country, seeing how people are gravitating to the Unity Party, he gets confused. Look, police, when was the last time you ever saw President Weah getting on the ring to campaign? When was the last time you saw him? He has never done it before. Even when he was actively involved into opposition, he has never done it before. President Weah is getting on the ring to campaign today because he's seeing that Liberians are no longer waiting to support him. In fact, information that he been watching, been seeing, and information that his supporter been giving him, he no longer trusts this information any longer. So he telling himself, I have to go on.
About the feedback on the background. Someone is not muted.
Yes. He's telling himself that myself have to go on a field to campaign to see what is going on. Today he was on the ring. He went to District 8 and he visited several communities in the district. See what happened? He was booed by the marketeers. I think you have that clip. If you have, you can play it. He was booed today. And there's a photo of him standing straight, just looking a hand at his pocket. He just looking at the people booing at him. The president is confused. He don't know what to say. I can tell you for free. You all know about the executive mansion. It started on the Eddie Johnson regime. Everything was set. He just came and completed it. You are aware of it. I'm the current youth chair for the township of Congleton. When it comes to the ministerial complex, I was there during the dedication of the ministerial complex with my boss, man, the commissioner, Mesa Kyusuku. We were there. The ministerial complex was done everything only for the president to go and dedicate that project. We were there. We were part of the dedication. So when the president speak about what are they coming to rescue, and the question comes to mind, there's so many things we are coming to rescue, Mr. President. We are coming to rescue our brothers and sisters from the kush that you brought in the country that are affecting them, and what we're coming to rescue. We're coming to rescue Liberians from poverty and starvation, and what we're coming to rescue. So when I hear the president saying these things, I just laugh. When I hear you talking about building more hospital, thank you. When I hear you talking about building more hospital, I just laugh. What are those hospitals you build? The Embry Hospital, yes. The 14 military hospital. Besides the Embry, the 14 military hospital, can the president tell which one of the hospital you have built in the are for Nima? The president has not done any tangible projects in Nima. The hospital right by the Twin Trial, the G. Derry had a hospital in Senikuri. We cried behind the president 6 years to relocate the hospital. The president has failed to do that. We gave him land to relocate the hospital. He has failed to do that. What are you talking about? What the record are you talking about, Mr. President? The record of stealing the $16 billion? Is that what you are talking about? The $25 million MOPA exercise? Is that what you are talking about? Oh, you are talking about the record of the death of those auditors? Is that what you are talking about? The three missing boys. The EPA officer that died in Tabata. I was on a tour with Senator Kuhn. The EPA officer that died in Tabata, is that a record you are boasting of? Let the president tell us something different. Something that the Liberian people want to listen to. I hope you guys saw the video from Foya today. See the pre-launch of the campaign in Foya today. All these things make the president to get on the ring today to say he's going to campaign. And so Liberians are not gravitating to his message any longer. This is the reason why we are calling on Liberians to vote number 2 on the ballot box. Vote number 2 on the ticket. Vote the rescue mission. Thank you. I have to respectfully submit.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Don, James. So, guys, please mute as we.
Yes, Nelson, thank you again.
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
All right. Okay, thank you, Nelson. The first thing I want to ask, maybe I'm wrong, is the president currently using the executive mansion as his office space, or is still a foreign affair? Because he boasts about fixing the executive mansion. So I'm wondering here, what are his office currently at the executive mansion? Nelson, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, the president is working from the executive mansion now. He's not at foreign affairs again. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, I said, I just wanted to provide information for the public. I often hear the seditions and that of government official boast, usually talking about COVID-19 came 2019. It is not true. The only reason for which they called it COVID-19 because the first case, that is the first person that COVID was found in, they took that particular specimen on the 31st of December 2019 for testing. And on the 12th of December 2020, the first case of COVID was recorded. When did COVID hit Liberia? Now, COVID hit Liberia March 16, 2020. I think we all recorded the former EPA director, I think one Nathaniel Blama. He was the first person that the first case of COVID was recorded. So on March 16, 2020, that when Liberia recorded its first COVID-19 case. So people just stop running and saying that, oh, COVID-19 came to Liberia 2019. That's a lie. It is actually 2020. And then Liberia was declared COVID-free by the government of Liberia. That is after the World Health Organization had declared the entire world COVID-free on May 5th, 2023. Liberia decided, okay, we'll wait in July of the same year and declare our country free. Now, here I say, Georgia government has stole almost everything. The COVID fundings that were collected at the Rabat International Airport, where are those money? We felt that those money were going to be used for the reconstruction of JFK. We felt that those money going to be used for the reconstruction of Redemption. We felt that those money going to be used to build more hospitals around the country. We are not talking about a building that went to in Bapolu County. I challenge you up to now. That place is not operating. Hospital is not a building with equipment in it. It is a place where people go to see full medical attentions. So another part of the president's speech, the president asking us, why are people coming to rescues? My colleagues have mentioned some of them. Look, Mr. President, we are coming to bring a closure to the death of Princess Cooper. All the auditors, the 3 missing boss, the missing 16 billion, all of the different currency they are printed under his regime. Now, someone told me, and I'm still yet to confirm the information, that we have 4 different family bank notes still on the Liberian market. Are you kidding me, Mr. Weir? Are those records that we should vote on? Printing unnecessary money for your own personal advertisement? We are not going to do that. And then lastly, I just wanted to respond to one of the things he said concerning his record about. Oh, okay. Let me just close up quick. Look, Mr. Weir, you can even campaign when toner is cracking. The Liberian people will not vote for you. You can even campaign when the rain is still in the quota. The Liberian people will not vote for you. The Liberian people will vote for you based on what you have done so far. You have built all of the condominiums for yourself. Those are things we'll look at and vote for you. We are calling on our people on October 10th. The only number that should reach in your ear is number 2. And when you get into that polling room, check number 2. That's the best way forward. Thank you so much.
I wanted to quickly say that Jamaica Resort is where the president works. So I heard that's not a mansion. I think Nelson is frozen. Mova.
Oh, okay.
My bad is frozen. Who going next?
Yeah, Emmanuel. Emmanuel,
Yeah,
calling.
so
Yeah,
Cola, that's the name is
Kola.
Cola. I listened to the president's speech. I just laughed. The only thing I saw there was a desperate man who had the opportunity to do a lot for his people and misuse it. And you could see him being very desperate for George Weah to get under the rain. That's the only unprecedented thing that I saw from that entire activity. To be honest, George Weah is bragging about road. I'm fortunate to be an engineer, a civil engineer for that matter. Roads has qualifications. These roads are George Weah, the feeder roads are in his building around his community. Look at the quality of those roads. I think if Raymond can be win this, there's nowhere in construction that you will lay asphalt before doing drainage. All
Yeah.
of the roads that George Weah is constructing, he lay the asphalt before doing drainage. And you notice that in the next 3, 4, 5 years to come, those roads will be waste of money. We just consider them waste of money. Now,
Erosion is gonna break
early,
them.
early second term, her first term campaign for her. Ellen could boast of the Red Light to Ganta Road. She could boast of the Buchanan Road. She could boast of the Tapeta Hospital. She could boast of the Fender building. She had things to boast of. But what is Joey bragging about here? He was fortunate to have inherited a project in River Says, the Media Hospital, that Ellie initiated. He came. I was on that project. I was one of the engineers on that project. We did a very nice structure there. It's just there empty. He cannot even equip that hospital and get it in full functional state. He is there bragging about, I've constructed more hospitals. Now, how can you brag about constructing more hospitals when even the most popular 14 military hospital is not even up to standard? This government is in the habit of reducing some of the facilities that should be in a modern hospital just to accommodate theft of some of the money. Now, observe the hospitals that Ellen built on her regime. They were the capital hospital that she renovated. When you look at most of the projects that Ellen did, she did it as per the standard. The engineers will always prioritize standard. But unlike George Weah, when you go to River G, the Fishtown Hospital that I also work on, that hospital, the isolation unit that we did there is a very modern isolation unit. Unlike all George Weah projects that he carry on and he's bragging about, they are all substandard. Now, this president is ignorant of the laws of our republic. He does things without even considering the fact that I'm the president of the nation. I'm to uphold the laws of this republic. He uses public facilities.
Baba,
He
please
uses public
mute.
funding,
Can you
public
please mute,
equipment
Baba?
to do the wrong campaign. His ministers are doing things that he cannot even checkmate them. Imagine this man is bragging about being one of Liberia's best president. How does that work when you have your citizens dying every day from kush, from different drugs? At least doing any kind of marijuana, we don't hear about the weed, but this time we hear about kush. I was shocked when I started seeing people on normal man would just stick in public like he's playing some zombie music. How does that work? And you bragging, your citizens going down the drain like that. Look, man, people, Liberian people will vote against George Weah massively. He will wonder whether he has ever done anything in Liberia. To be honest, George Weah is a complete failure, and he's aware. That's why you see him. He's going in under the rain, lying to the people, making statements that he know that are not true. But trust me, after October 10, any leader who come after George Weah will understand that Liberia is not going to be the same again.
Now, listen, thank you very much, Kula. Kula for making a point. But just before moving to
To hack our man account.
who?
Kula, the man was firing too much. They hack your account.
That's the mega Miami internet.
I real Miami. I who in Miami say.
No, the man talk about
in Miami say my internet try more than my internet.
no, the man talk about people sticking in the street.
The
You
man
see,
fired too much. They said no. They took the man down.
That's
Gentlemen, I hope y'all got VPNs. So.
Nelson.
That is bad.
My block boarding. Let me fire.
Listen, just before you fire, let me ask this question. Any two persons can answer. Was it really necessary for the president to stay in the ring? Because if you look at that venue where the program was held, there were canopies all around the place. There were canopies. I mean, there were areas that, I mean, this is the president, man. Was it really necessary, or was that part of the political strategy, to be able to get the message across, since in fact it's campaign period? Any two persons can pick up this one.
I will go second and then continue firing.
Okay.
I mean, coming fire. So that's Cindy. Let Cindy pick up, then Sheriff can come in.
You coming fire, just forget about it.
Cindy is muted.
I'm muted. Oh, sorry. I was talking to myself. I was telling you people to balance the equation. Let's balance the equation here. Look, the man is desperate. Did you see that the last election? George Weah last election, 2017, it was a giving. He was relaxed. He didn't have to do much. So the man was talking about, I have records, I've done this, I've done that. If you have done all those things, you don't have to do much. But the man is desperate. The man knows that the Liberian people are not gravitating towards him. So he did not have to do that, but he's desperate. He's a hungry kid on the block right now. He's looking for attention. He's going to do anything and everything at this moment so that the Liberian people can give him a little attention. He's begging for attention.
I wish I had a CDC person on here tonight, so that person could equally answer whether it was necessary.
Yeah, Nelson. So, seeing the president today in the rain, asking the Liberian people for vote, it's just an act of desperation, and also too, we have this thing here they call sympathy. Like, so he's the guy that he understand, Liberian in general, we are sympathetic. So when people see him standing in the ring, oh, what a humble man. This man, he mean what he's saying. So thinking that will make people to gravitate towards him. But again, everything happens in the act. It is a tactic that most politicians uses. So basically, when time for election, some of them will bring themselves down to a certain level. They go to market tier. They want to sell. Sometimes they want to sell kobo. They want to sell, water on the street or something, just to gain that sympathy from the people. It's just out of desperation because 2017, Joey did not put much effort into campaign. Why? Because Liberian people were already gravitating towards him, and he was already a president designated. And now, seeing what's happening now with JNB doesn't even have to suffer himself. It's organically happening.
You said something very important, Sharif, talking about the way politicians carry themselves, especially during campaign period. In some cases, you see them in the short trousers, crossing the water, directing traffic, eating with the common man down there, and all of those different kinds of things. Are these things, what should Liberians look up for? I mean, especially now that this is campaign period. How do they even distinguish the genuine humility from that of a political?
That is easy. It's easy. The president himself answered today. Record. We look into that record. What have he done? Simple.
Okay. Like you said, Nelson, let me get chipping. When you want to get employment, they don't just listen to you doing the interview. That's part of the process. But also listen to where you've worked, what experience you bring, what have you done over time. It's not just today. So Liberians should start judging all their leaders for who they've been over the years, not today.
Sure.
They're putting up show. What George we had today was just he's an actor.
So let's go back to Josh. Please, let's go back to Josh.
Can I get a 10 second, Nelson?
But man, y'all been talking about y'all. Let me talk small.
Let Josh come in, please.
You know, Nelson. I was busy, and my blood was boiling.
Okay.
500 Nigerian teachers that fly. Infoma that fly.
Iboma.
Eton that fly. Body Allen that fly. Hair factory that fly.
Airport.
Lone Star Airline.
Air Liberia.
That fly.
No, Air Liberia is not a fly, it's a cake.
Who that fly? He lied doing sonar and said that he didn't know people were making $40 and $50. That fly. The president lied, and when he came from Israel and said he went to go find out
Israel
who Jesus is. La fly. The president lied. He took 48 days out of the country. He said he was to a meeting in Paris while he was sitting there watching the World Cup, watching his son playing. La fly. What are we wasting our time here?
meeting President Biden.
That blah.
Yeah, please mute me. Yeah, please, let him mute
my brother just tell me now. The president on the radio did that what thing?
That fly.
So
I don't see fly.
We Nelson, wait, let me I said I fire it today. I said that. No.
I mean, you get one more minute.
No problem. We did the anti-rape campaign for women in black in Monrovia. When we got ready to present the petition to President Weah refused to come down from his office on the 4th floor. He said he wasn't meeting us. We were right in front of Foreign Affairs there, right to Polytechnic. What did the EPS and the police do to us? They beat us.
I saw the video.
The female feminists that fly. They beat us. We're
coming to that aspect. The
topic you were on, I'm just trying to clear my side now. Let me just clear my side. Then they see him on the ring today where he couldn't come down from his office to come and receive a petition with saying our girls was being raped. Then he on the ring today. That Vlad, I rest my case.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Nelson, I just wanted to add something quick. The coming days, Nelson, you see President we are eating kobo. You see President we are enjoying water. You see President we are even playing nafo and freetown ball.
My brother,
okay.
Vlad.
Thank you. Now we have a whole lot here, trying to get some stuff uploaded here. But now I want you to have a listen to this. In fact, I want you to watch this. Just watch this very quick. This is the part 2 to that.
Economy. Today, we have the most female in our government. Even the president, you could ask you. Today, you have a press freedom. Today, you have peace. And I must tell you, Liberian people, we're restoring peace in our land. I can tell you, in the sound of my voice, most especially the first-time voters, if you can't trust anyone, just trust me. I am talking to you, but today, man, everything I tell you, give to you 6 years ago. You elected me as a president in the wake of the 6 years, in 2 years. Corona came. The Liberian people are the not made excuse because of Corona. Even when the 2 years that Corona took from us, I still performed well. People were in government 12 years, they complain about Ebola. Everything that Ebola caused away. Yes, but I say to you, even with Corona, we still perform well. And we must say, thank to God, we are grateful to God that the Corona did not take anything away from us. So I'm not coming to make excuse for Corona. Corona came and developing the country. But I must thank you, Liberian people, for listening to me. In the period of Corona.
Okay, so there you have it. That's the part 2 of the speech there. So the president started off by saying that the George Weah administration has more female in government than previous administrations. Even under a female president, you couldn't see that. Talking about female employment in government, the number of females that this government has employed. The president spoke of so many things, but the one I want to go to now has to do with freedom of the press freedom. The president said that's one of the legacies of his government, that there's press freedom. The media is exercising her duty freely without intimidation or whatever. Do we have press freedom in the country? Do we have more females employed in government? Let's make another round very quick. The CEO will soon be coming on. Let's make another round, just 1 minute each. Then we can go on to other issues.
Yeah, I want to talk on our press freedom. Lo, let me tell you. It's just hard to say. It's just hard to defend a government. I tell people who defend a government, you cannot defend a government. Because when you look at the press freedom, for example, when Henry Costa radio station was closed for speaking the truth, it was what? When what the other guy named from Punch FM was closed. Who closed Punch FM? What Joe Weah? And now we're looking at Spoon. Now we're looking at Spoon FM. Spoon FM is closed. On his regime, 3 radio stations. Then talking about press freedom? Talking about be joking, man. And then he talk about what? Peace. What's the peace? What's the peace that people enjoy? They can't even come out. They can't even beat us out to 10 o'clock. Everybody running home. What a peace. You can't even leave your door open for like 10 seconds. What a peace. You get Zogo, you get Jefferson Koji and his gang going after people who speak against the government. What's the peace? All the things that we are saying, that's said to me, no fun. But end of the day, I trust our people. They will go to the right direction. That's my take.
Sharif, 1 minute, sir. Let's hear you. Mora, please mute. I would appreciate if you can do that for us. Kindly mute, sir. Thank you. Go ahead, Sharif.
Yes, so the president mentioning press freedom is mockery. First of all, for every nation on the planet, there are 5 fundamental rights that we are all entitled to as citizens. And those 5 fundamental rights that I'm going to read to you guys now. We have the right to life and liberty. You have freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, where the press freedom falls under. You have the right to work and education. We look at the latter that I just mentioned there. How many radio station or media station have been sanctioned and closed under this regime? Like my colleague mentioned, we have Punch FM owned by Patrick
Patrick
Horner.
Horner. Yeah.
Patrick Horner. And then you have the likes of Henry Costa radio station
Roots FM.
Roots FM. And Spoon FM is not just one station, it's a conglomerate of other media stations. So if you add them together, it's more than 5 or 6. How can you come and tell the people that you stood or you have stand up for press freedom? The basic human rights are being infringed upon. The basic to life, most of our people have been killed for standing up or maybe speaking the truth. We don't have that. So the basic human freedom, we don't even the human right, we don't even have it in our country. Many of the things that we're saying right now against him, our message have not even been disseminated to our people simply because of his action to close the Spoon station. Now we are resolved to just transmitting our message via internet. This could have been transmitted now to the entire nations that people could hear from us. So coming up here telling people if free press freedom is just laughable. But again, it's George Weah. We're not surprised. This is the reason why that we are resolved to remove him democratically come October 10, 2023. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You have a minute, Ture. Unfortunately, I'm going to start with you. I will start putting my timer up. And so it's like Sharif managed to have.
It always starting with me, unfortunately. But let me say this. You know, this is just another PR mislap or PR disaster by this government. But it's just unfortunate from the part of the government because there's no credible person in this administration that can actually propagate the message of this government. And Joe Weah is the only person that can actually maybe stand up there and take punches. But it's unfortunate because he's the bad messenger. He cannot fully articulate what he has done for the past 6 years. And I don't think anybody on this CDC led government right now that can actually come up there, both face the Liberian people, and try to actually, list all of their achievement they have actually accomplished for the past 6 years. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And meanwhile, opposition are not even saying anything. Everything, like Joe, we are literally doing opposition campaign for them every time he speaks. Because then we're going to have a lot to talk about. And there's nobody there to actually, that's the unfortunate point. Who should be there right now talking on behalf of this government? Right? Because everybody around the president, they are all the same. There is nothing there to actually talk about. And they will use the president because at least they think the president will use some of his, his full-balling, mesmerizing appeal to actually, get the Liberians to gravitate towards him. But unfortunately, that's not the Liberia that we are in now. It's 2023. The proliferation of social media is actually hurting this government. Like everything now, it's so up there, so up front to people that even if the president speak today, it will be all over the world, all over the country. So there is nothing the president can actually tell the Liberian people that the Liberian people have not already been subjected to. And to actually end on this, right? They say, fool me once, I put the blame on you. But fool me twice, I mean, I can't put that blame on you. And I think that's what the Liberians are right now.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ture. Cindy, let's hear from you. 1 minute, sir.
Well, there are two things I want to take away from here. The first thing is, Mr. Weah said that he has employed more women than any other government. I want to say this. I do not have the statistics, and I'm not going to try to dispute that he has employed more women. But we heard very clearly from the chairman of the CDC, And we all know what the chairman of the CDC revealed to us. The chairman of the CDC said, and I'm quoting him here, that the president often had to sleep with folks, females that he hired. So again, I'm not there and I cannot authenticate this, but it came from the chairman of the CDC, Mobile Molo. So can we say that's a trickle-down effect across the entire government? So most of those females he's talking about, were they, do they also have something to do with maybe the top officials of the government? Well, that is for, George Weah to come back and tell us. But we also do know that it has been stated several times that the election commissioner, the chair of the election commissioner, is compromised. Again, I don't want to get too personal, but someone close to George Weah informed us just recently on phone that the lady used to walk out early in the morning with her slippers in your hand, and she's a great individual. So I'm going to leave it right there. But here's the thing. I want to give the Liberian people credit for the peace that George Weah talked about. The country is peaceful not because of George Weah. Poverty alone can cause war. And we know that our staple food was recently not on the market. And we know the history when rice is scarce on the market. So it is the Liberian people that chose to be peaceful in this difficult time. I want to also give credit to the opposition community that chose to be calm, professional in dealing with the situation in the country. The country would have been in chaos if the Liberian people were not patient, were not calm in the situation confronted to them by the CDC government. The country is on drugs, the country is hungry, the country is lack of jobs, and you're talking about peace? Peace when we cannot even hold our cell phone to walk around on Broad Street? I've been to Liberia twice since Weah became president, and whenever I visited, something was stolen from me. My car battery, my cell phones. Is that peace? Peace when people cannot stay outside past 7 p.m.? So let's credit the Liberian people for not invoking war in the country. But it is not because of George Weah. George Weah is not peaceful, and he does not know how to lead. And that's why Mr. Edison Cummings is right for the country to face the issues that George Weah has brought on the Liberian people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Raymond, is over to you.
You see, like my other colleagues have said, the president, George Weah, is a bad messenger, bad communicator. He tried to give credit to himself and said that he had employed more women than even the female president. But he could not even give us numbers to compare. And we know he lies a lot. So I'm not even going to think that he did such. I believe it's just another lie. Because if it was so, he would have given us numbers. He's the president. He got access to all those information. And he knew he was going on a campaign trail today. And he had his talking points. So where are the numbers? And let's talk about the freedom of expression and affiliation, the free speech he's talking about. My colleagues have mentioned the number of news horses that he has shut down, radio stations. Which radio station have he shut down? Radio stations that are critical of him, holding him, his feet to the fire. We heard even of Spoon, seditions, in their numbers talking about Spoon being shut down because they know in their circle what was being said.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Done. Oh my God. So
thank you very much.
You didn't even give me a minute, man. Everybody has spoke.
Thank you very much. But we'll make the rounds. We'll still make the rounds. Let me welcome the CEO to the show.
Thank you. But why am I coming on and Jerry coming on?
Jerry?
Y'all know what I thought.
No.
Because Jerry got something in common.
No. Why am I coming? Why are you bringing me with Jerry? I don't want y'all to say the thing that's Southeastern thing.
Nelson.
Y'all speaking crew behind that.
Nelson, you know, Stanton and hijacker. Nelson, you know, Stanton and hijacker. Stanton coming hijack the whole show.
No. Listen, man, you're the officer of the law. I can get all of you right now.
My man.
They think you're preparing yourself for Unity Party security job. I'm not
My
Unity
man,
Party
I chicken roll, I chicken roll.
But
no, Stanton, you're a little wrong when you say United Party. We'll call it a government of inclusion, the opposition government. Everybody on
how
board.
will you call it the opposition government when you have people on the fence, opposition fighting opposition? But you guys play the Joey tape when they put on laughing in the market.
No,
we'll play that
Nelson
one.
kept that. Nelson was disgraced the
I
president.
Hey, Stanton, I can't hijack the show.
We'll make it last. Don't let
Now, honestly, what Joe says, CEO will hijack the show.
We get it there.
But man, you know what, Jerry, they got here talking. Nelson, wait.
We can hear you, CEO.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but Nelson, hold on small.
Nelson muted the CEO.
When you come on the show, yeah, he did. When you come on the show, you're talking sweet talk. Someone, oh yeah, we speak Siri. We let the woman to hear. Oh, listen, the life at Joey today, they drove in all of district number 8. Akaris Moses Gray. You remember when Akaris Gray were backing Joey and say, I beg you, go talk to the people. Then Joey say, because today is my birthday, you please vote for Akaris Gray. You remember that?
Yep.
And the people listened to George Weah. And they gave Akaris Gray a little pass. This time around, the people saying, our market leaking, our market spoil. Don't bring your nonsense to us, Mr. President. If you get your sisters and brothers and loved ones in Liberia, you got to tell them. I have never seen St. Charlie Quintan. Seriously, you can talk about Charles Taylor and Doe, but what they did to Joey today, Joey finished. This election is bad for Joey. Nelson, play the clip right quick before we listen to our guys and say, man, you stop playing here, man. You come on the show, you're playing rap. Play the clip. Nelson, play the clip. Imagine for a second, you guys have spent almost 2 hours on the show, and you guys were about to miss that beautiful show. What's up? What are you gonna look at me for?
I'm just seeing what y'all up to.
All right, go sit down. Sit down. So my Gion saying you want to see who I'm talking to, you see? Mm-hmm. Okay? Oh. It's all politics. All right? All right, so stay tuned. That's a young politician. But you guys got to understand, right? This man called Joe Weah drove through Akaris Mose Great District. Then Nelson, I suspected Nelson is a sedition. He was hiding that clip since today. There will be nobody on this earth to hide that clip. You must be a sedition. And what Nelson did to you guys, I'm very disappointed. He buried the clip.
Let me honor that sedition.
No, CEO, go.
Yeah, exactly.
No, CEO, we going bit by bit.
No, bit by bit. We don't have time for bit by bit.
We'll reach that clip yet.
Listen, this is what people are saying. Even in Akaris Mose Great District, the people, they are not afraid. That's the reason why the government is doing everything to shut down Spoon. But you cannot shut down social media. They have done everything possible, my people. Semetua is celebrating. But Semetua, you ain't win yet. Imagine today, young men and women standing on the street, telling Joel, we don't want you. The education system,
You lied to the University of Liberia. It's empty. It's broken down. What can you show? Now you go to the marketplace, the market women are running behind you. Jerry, you were there before. You know how it worked. We just coming, Jerry. Let it give her another few minutes to talk. Tell me, for the sake of God, Jerry, have you seen the president where that we know 2005, 2011, 2017? You ever heard that before? That people saying go, and they may saw all of you, Joe, we are go, Joe, we are go, Joe, we are go, we fire, oh, Joe, we are go. Take it from me, Jerry. Take it,
You know,
take it
the
from me.
issue, yeah, Wia is a complete disappointment. Wia is fake as the word fake is fake. You know, the day President Wia said that I am the best president, I think he said in the US, out of Miami or whatever, he said it, I'm the best president. When I listened to the dude, I said, so this is arrogance, because only arrogance does that. Only arrogance can make somebody think that he knows everything. And, you know, so for we are to be boo, we expected it. Look, people are taking this thing for fun. The people spoke in 2019, they spoke in 2020, and they've been speaking through major by-elections. See the way they were whipped in Boston, 6 major counties. So our citizens, so far, we have to be boo in Maserado. We have lost Maserado, that they don't get Maserado keys. Because we are corruption is just something that he decided to challenge everybody. Say, let me loot the country. You know, what will happen if people let me loot the country. We are not stealing, we was looting, wrecking the country. So, I mean, we are not shocked for the people who in the market are feeling the pinch as a result of blockage at the free port of Monrovia, because we import majority of the commodities that we consume on a daily basis. So the woman under the market table is really raw. So people are making, you know, different economic choices now. Some people are not going for rest too much. Some people are not going for certain things. So if you do that, then the men on the market are buying that product. They will not get nobody to buy it. My other spoil or to do. People say, let me eat small gari, let me swallow fufu. So if you notice that I may get a rare product, there'll be issue. So that's how the people suffer. He's talking about hospital and all kinds of things, you know, earlier on. You know, all these things we are talking about, that's why I said we are is fake. Because for we are to sit and tell us that we are going to experience 4% growth in 20, you know, in 1 year time, in 2022. And, you know, through agricultural entrepreneurship, there's no indicator, there's no sign what are the prospects that we are, government can do that. Then you lie to all about hospital. We listened to a clip. I think one time I was sharing with this man, where in Grand Crew, George, we are Grand Crew, the noise was speaking. He said that thing here hard to the extent that we have to go credit draws from local pharmacy because we are medical practitioners. We can't allow the people die live from 5-6 hours. CEO, for God's sake. They must say I'm a professional. I cannot allow somebody to pay that way account, then we get medicine to treat them. Imagine in Georgia hometown. Georgia said he came from the southeast. And this is a worst area that people, the suffering increase in that place. The poverty rate in that region is very high. Then we have the audacity to stand there and tell people that he built executive mansion, he do have something, he do this one. You know, I don't blame we are. We are is right. But thank God, Liberian people have realized, CEO, that, you know, we are is a zero. So that video means we didn't know. You know, that's why when I listen to some of our friends, I just feel that I agree with former health minister, Dr. Gwyneth Gali. He said there are a lot of people who get better probably in the country. What time he said, he said plenty of people. And, you know, that day the one will say George, you should go for second term. So CEO, for me, this is what we are deserve. We are needs to go. The people are tired, they're suffering, masses. You can see poverty. You listen to many clips you play. Then he said there and tell people, he tried to lecture people about development. I was a resource officer on the Waste Means Finance Committee when Senator Prince Moena, he was chairman on Waste and Means. I wrote almost all of the reports with the technical staff. I was one of the strong members of the technical staff. The East International Agreement, all the roads, the Johnsonville Road, the Jacobtown Road, all the feeder roads, but the president secured the money. I said, Chairman, that time Nuke was speaker. I was on that committee as a resource officer on that committee. So I worked with the budget committee for a little while. I know what we're talking about. So all the agreement.
Thank you, Jerry.
We aren't bring any new thing. We actually stop.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, so that's why we said
yeah.
on the ballot paper. And I will come to other issues, but let me say this: GMB is number 2 on the ballot paper. That's why he said in an interview with the VOA that I'm not thinking about 1 round. I mean second round. He said second round have not been part of my plans. I just want to start work in January. And it was very interesting. So that vote for him. They are number 2 on the ballot paper.
Thank you, Jerry.
For the group people,
Thank you, Jerry, very much. Nelson, who let's do the roundtable on this Klebu Jazz show. Let everybody talk about it. And I have another photo for you guys. I have another information for you guys. George Manawea House in his grand crew. I want to show to you. The man himself have neglected his own place where people come from. I will show to you tonight. You think you're going to meditate, Lacey? Who's next?
Stand on, let me
Let's
fire.
do the round table. Yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead,
fire.
Georgie.
Yeah,
I think
no, the chicken roll gotta go.
No, hold on 1 minute. George, hold on 1 minute. Nelson, who's next?
So it should be Gus because Raymond concluded, so it was Gus on the floor now.
All right, let's take it like that. Gus, you go ahead. I mean, at Nelson show, I cannot. You say the reason why I stop you. You say I had Jaguar. If I'm going to let do it now, then
But maybe
I'm going to confirm what you said. So go ahead. Go ahead, Gus.
Yes, CEO, thank you very much. And again, welcome for coming on. Let me say good morning to my brother Jerry Yimpan. CEO, the photo and the video you just show us not too long clearly speak to the fact that Liberian people are tired. Remember in 1997 elections, Liberians went to the street. They took on the street. You came on mine, came on by, I will vote for you. They voted President Taylor. In 2005, they said, boy, will vote for you. In 2011, they said, degree holder, boy, your country is dirty. In 2017, they said the same thing, degree holder, boy, your country is dirty. Today, they elected President Weah. And the very same Liberian people are now booing at him. Look at the pictures you just showed there. You saw the president standing, just looking one place. While the president was standing, looking one place on that ring. It's just that when you sit it down that day, looking one place, you meditating. The president, yeah, okay, very good. There's the picture I'm talking about. You see the president standing, he got his hand at his back pocket, and he just looking at the crowd booting at him. He said, wow, me, President, where is this manner of all manner that when I come, you see the crowd. You see crowd, you say, yeah. But see where the president is standing, open T area, nobody around him to tell you that the president has failed. And the reason for which he get on the ring today, CEO, the president has watched videos about the rescue campaign, videos about the rescue team, or since the day of campaign opening. Yesterday in Foya, it was not easy in Foya. The president said, no, these guys are lying to me. Myself got to get on the ring.
30 seconds.
You saw the president on the ring today, and he being on the ring today, he feel that the Liberian people will buy sentiment, but the Liberian people are tired. See the marketeers. See how the people are shouting. See how the people are booing at him. Then to the extent that how President Weah have failed, and we are calling our people to vote number 2 on the ballot box. Thank you, CEO. I respectfully submit.
Kula, go ahead. Emmanuel.
Yeah, so if I
yeah,
would
Nelson, I send you audio from Grand Crew. I want you to play it so that people can listen to it. I send it to you. CEO, please tell you.
If I would grade George Weah for anything, is his ability to manipulate. George Weah is highly manipulative. Somebody who manipulates lies a lot. That clip that we just saw the market people booing George Weah is an evidence that people are really tired with George Weah lying to them. For George Weah to stay in public and say he employed more female than the past regime, that's odd. He refused to know that the Judah Duncan Cassia, Antoinette Sari, Olubaki Kik Agirelli, Grace Kpan, We have a lot of people that Ellen put in strategic government positions. Those were people who made impact on the economy of our country. Florence Chinwe, the late, in the agriculture sector. You got people who, when you don't have intimacy, where you don't give them job, like your chairman said. How can you reference yourself to be a feminist, somebody who employ more females? You talk about the peace. George, we have inherited this peace, but we as Liberians kept the peace. If we are not being the kind of people that we are naturally, we are the people, we kind of people who can say, let's just forget it. That forget it tendency that is in us is what makes Joe to be bragging about peace right now. Because some of the things that are happening during India talk about time, you saw how many people step on the street to demonstrate during the Ellen regime. If people were protesting for every death that have taken place on the George, you know what we're going to be experiencing in that country? George, we are bragging about peace. The prayers go to us as thank you. The prayers go to us as Liberians for maintaining the peace. So George, we should
30
understand
seconds,
that
30 seconds.
I'm aware. So George, we should understand that where we have reached, we as Liberians, we are tired. And trust me, we will massively vote. We're not even given the chance for second round. He will be eliminated in the very first round. Thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you. I think Nelson is freezing. Hey, so we keep on with Jared until Nelson can come on. Jared, want to come in?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I wonder
Just
Nelson
go
to
ahead
play
at the
that
next time.
audio.
Yeah, I think he's freezing. All right, he's back.
Okay, so I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah, let me play
So,
that audio before you get to the
Emmanuel, you
hospital.
didn't your talk, right?
Huh?
Sure. I'm done.
I think I think never give him problem.
No.
You say
The president is not serious.
Jared, you say
Yeah.
some video to play, right?
Yeah, audio from
Or
Grand
audio
Crew.
video?
Yeah, from
audio.
Grand Crew. The audio.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yeah, the
probably
audio.
that.
You can play for like few minutes and then we all discuss it. So people can listen and see what happened in Jowia hometown Grand Crew.
But before the audio come
No,
on, let's
yeah. Before hold on 1 minute, Jerry.
CEO is an Eastern brother from a hometown.
Jerry, but hold on 1 minute. Jerry, hold on 1 minute. Let the other guys then speak on the clip that we played today from Right Town. We'll go to your Grand Crew video. Who's next?
No, I think we already done. But when I that new clip, then we can start over. When a new clip,
I haven't said anything on
while
it.
we
probably
do
can
that,
start over.
So while we do that, and Jerry is talking about that, how you call it, clip. Jerry, usually we listen to the clip before we play it because we don't want anybody to start cussing. So hold on, I think Nelson is trying to listen to it first. Then he will upload it and we'll play it. Just be patient. But we received this information. This is President George Manneh. We are home. This is President George Manneh. We are home in his county, wherever county he may be from. Okay.
Wow.
We sent somebody there. You see the person at home?
Wow.
But what are you laughing for? That person we are home. You don't laugh. So I believe that at the end of the day, these are some of the things we'll be talking about. That's President We Are House in Grand Crew, Sastan. I told you guys supposed to be clapping for the president now. He built a beautiful home in Sastan.
Clapping what capacity is?
I don't know. Listen, when you tell the people that this thing is a problem in our country, and I will go back to what Jerry said. The data going on said they got a lot of mental health issue in the country. And these are the things we're going to be talking about. But now there you go, you have seen it. So talk to us. Let's start with Moba. Moba Zoka, you listen to the clip. You're watching the home. Tell us, this man, George Weah, I'm going to ask everyone on the show, does George Manneh Weah deserve a re-election? Moba, you go first.
See, that question said making me to laugh before I start answering it. Actually, Joanna even deserve to be even what would say representative. Because imagine as a president before I can remember vividly 2005, 2017. No, not in Liberia by then, but 2005, 2010, when Joria goes somewhere, the whole place is crowded up. You see a lot of people all over there won't see him, shaking his hand, security blocking people. But what happened now? It based on it based on a record. It based on what he did or what he doing for the people. Look at the people crying. Our market building. Before when Joya passing, you see all the marketeers will come out to be clapping for him, cheering him, singing for him. But this time it's not working because he failed the people. See, he failed the people, he failed the Liberian people. So there is no way the people can celebrate him anymore. Anywhere Joya go, trust me. Trust me, from today, you'll see a lot of some people will be all on the street. They even care. They will win by him. They will pass by him, going places. They even care. They'll do that normal business because Joya have failed the Liberian people a lot. See, so pertaining to that clip, we all see it. There's nothing in that clip can make Joya to be a second-term president. He know that. The people has turned their back on him. And the main thing is the district I want a strong lawmaker from, as Ascawa Gray, it's done. CEO.
It's a wrap.
It's done.
Sherry?
Go ahead, Chef. Sherry, it's your turn.
Yeah, so the question is, why should we give Joya a second term? So this is what I'm saying. How can we give you a second term, and when you have the harmonization where our civil servant are coming home with just 20% of what they're supposed to earn? You significantly deplete their buying power. How can Liberian people give a second term when our people cannot enjoy a basic security of their country? At past 7 p.m., you're not free to go anywhere in a community. How can Liberian people give you a second term if you have basically damaged the future of their children by proliferation of drugs into our country? How are they going to give a second term when there's extrajudicial killings happening everywhere in the nation? How are they going to give a second term when these basic human rights are not being observed in our nation? There's no press freedom. How can they give you a second term when they can take their own family member to base hospitals, a hospital where you yourself cannot even treat yourself there, a hospital where there's no budget, hospital lack of medication, hospitals there's no running water or electricity? How are they going to give a second term when there's no basic road to go to your own county where you claim to be from, let alone to other counties? How are they going to give you a second term, Mr. Weir, when the market women that go to the market every single day to set her market to be able to feed her family is not able to make any business? And we saw that today. They boo you. They don't want you anymore. How are they going to give you a second term when all of the funds that the country received that's supposed to be meant for development, that's supposed to be allocated to have our hospitals running, that's supposed to be allocated to have our road built, that's supposed to be allocated to have better schools for our brothers and sisters in our country, you have embezzled that with just few handful of government officials that are enjoying from that money? How are they going to give a second term, Mr. President, when children are dying from drugs? Mr. President, how are they going to give a second term? The government that's supposed to work for everyone is only working for a handful of few. Your government is not inclusive. If anybody who does not shout the famous slogan, Munya Munya, you are not able to be given a job. You cannot serve your nation. How are they going to give a second term, Mr. President, when we have more Liberian citizens that are asylum today simply because they did not agree with your policy? Because of that, we on this platform, we have few of our colleagues here today. They are not free to go back in their country simply because they did not agree with your policy. Mr. President, we cannot give you a second term. And I'm so glad that you mentioned today that we should look at a record. And your record speaks for itself. You are desperate. You're going in the ring, standing in the ring. You want people to see you, re-beating you. You want to gain that public sentiment. You want people to feel sorry for, yeah, we all love his country. The man is standing out there. But your time is running out. That desperation is not going to take you anywhere. And Liberian people will now vote you come October 10, 2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Sheikh. Let's go to Ture. Ture, your take. Where is Nelson? He ran away.
Yeah, thank you, CEO. But yeah, there's a famous saying that says in America here that what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? It's not about that. You see, leadership is not about just professing to be a leader, and that's something that I've actually watered down our political institution in the republic. Everybody want to lead, but it takes people with character, people like Taron Gonglo, right? You see, when I saw that picture you posted over there,
you stay behind Taron Gonglo. Come on, man, leave Taron Gonglo alone, man.
When you
find another party,
that's the best leader that Labro hope to get. I'm telling you. But let's talk about the president picture. That picture right there is a picture that is indicative of what this 2023 election is going to be about. The president standing with his hand behind in his pocket, looking at a booing crowd, trying to gain sentiment. The president like, damn, I did not know that today was possible. That the people that willfully gravitated towards me, these are the very people that are now booing me. That's what that picture shows. And yes, Mr. President, they will boo you. Because when you dash the people hopes and aspiration, their dreams for better Liberia, for better opportunity for their children and their future, when you bring in drugs into the country, security lacks, or maybe security there, but the people can get paid on time. What do you expect, Mr. President? Then you talk about you want to get credit for security? Liberians should be credited for that. Liberians say, you know what, we put ourselves in this mess, but we're not going to bring any war. We're going to internalize our suffering, and we'll wait till October 10th. So you don't have a credit for peace, Mr. President. God in heaven knows what you have done. You have actually done everything bad, everything that can actually undermine the peace and security of that country, Mr. President. And I'm so glad that you are now boasting of your record, Mr. President. Let's talk about your record. Let's talk about your record. Because campaign should be about record. Campaign should be about what have you done for the people. And I'm so glad that you're talking about that. Your record is, Mr. President, the 3 Mason boys. Your record, Mr. President, the auditors. Your record, Mr. President, how can 200 million worth of drugs enter your country and nobody is held liable? How is that possible, my people? Somebody make that make sense to me. That's what we're talking about. That's the thing we're talking about. Liberians are not stupid. Liberians are waiting patiently to see that the bad situation, they themselves, I'm talking about self-inflicted suffering by making you president, Mr. President. They are waiting comes October 10th to actually take you away so that their hopes, dreams, and prosperity can come again under Mr. Tiawan Say Gonglo. I respectfully submit. Thank you, CEO.
Thank you very much, my dear friend. Thank you. Let's go over to Raymond.
And so let's get serious here and talk about the Liberian people issue. George Weah should not come close to anything called government or leadership. In fact, George Weah have done enough to be in a correction facility. I will tell you some things that you guys don't know. Nobody have ever said it on the show before. When George Weah became president, 3 to 6 months after, George Weah had acquired 50 acres of land behind Farmington. What he wanted to see if Public Works could build a bridge so that he didn't have to go all around Cotton Tree to access his land. That's what George Weah wanted after 6 months. He had to send Public Works there. I headed the team. George Weah owned 50 acres of land in Todi, just about that time, acquired about that time when he became president. Where he got the money from? Looting government coffers. If you guys remember, in less than a year of his presidency, 10 embassies wrote him a joint letter, partners' money that they stole. And so the Liberian people had to boo him. And the Liberian people, the marketers who booed him, they wouldn't boo him based on the condition of the market. But more than that, the condition of the people, the struggle the people go through, no health care, the security they're talking about, people living in fear, people can't even express themselves. Costa then had a low protest. He had to go to Sierra Leone in Khartoum. What a country. What kind of leadership? Auditors doing their job, doing Ellington, people audited and they submitted reports. Joe Malu was on the radio, was on Spoon the last time. Did he talk about any auditors getting missing? Before John Malu even came to Monrovia, he admitted, he made a statement that the government was 3 times corrupt than any previous government. He did his work freely. He came back to the US. But poor auditors doing their job, civil servants had to lose their lives. And this man got the guts to stand before Liberians. But, you know, a lot of people that were following him today were people either in government or people who close to the government, had those people walking with him. Most of the people who were sitting down under the canopies were people who, you know, are you already a guy in government? They're trying to hold on to power so their belly can be full. They feel that enjoying and looting the country. So the Liberian people are resolved and they understand their issues. They know what they're going through. They know how many of them went to bed today hungry, lacking everything. They know that they are so afraid not to get sick because no hospitals or even the cost of hospital that can afford it. People know their living conditions. So, George, we stand no chance. Thank you, Sumit.
Thank you very much, my friend. Let's bring in Gus.
Yeah, thank you, CEO. You asked the question, why should we give President George Weah a second term? If you were to ask again, I will tell you no. President Weah should not even come near power like this previous speaker said. He should not be nowhere around the state power of our country. President Weah has desecrated the seat of the presidency to the extent that Liberians cannot withstand the tension. The booing of President Weah is a clear manifestation that he has failed the country and he needs to go. Why are we voting for the president, Honorable CEO? When there is no press freedom. Remember, Madam Sirleaf, former President Sirleaf, she was the second African leader that endorsed the declarations of the Table Mountain that today brought about the press freedom. And to see the press freedom being buried by this regime is frustrating. Why should President Weah attack the press? Why should you close down Spoon Network? Why should you close down other radio stations? President Weah should not come near power. 2, why should we vote for President Weah when he hammerlazed people's salary and those civil service salary that he hammerlazed? Today, they are not benefiting from the hammerization. CEO, you can agree with me. You are on the same platform or the Spoon Talk when you open the line for Liberians to call on the issue about harmonization. There were Liberians who called. I followed the program. I listened to one other guy who called from FPRC. He said he was making $700 United States dollars, but the harmonization brought him to $350. Even the $350, sometimes he get $300, sometimes he get $350. I heard somebody calling from the Liberian National Police. Like during Madam Sene regime, he was making 150. Today, he making $95. The money doesn't even come on time. Is this the kind of president that you want us to vote for? No, Honorable CEO, we cannot. Let's look at the $16 billion. Can President we are give an account of the $16 billion? Can President we are give account of the $25 million mobile exercise? CEO, for those of us who left Liberia, let's come to the COVID-19 money. They put a strategy in place that when you are traveling outside of Africa, then Europe, you pay $75 for the COVID test. If you are traveling within a perimeter of Africa, you pay $50. Can the government give an account of those huge money that we have been paying? They cannot give an account. They are using the money for their personal benefit. Honorable CEO, let's look at the U.S. rate today. Under President George Manuel Weah. Today, if you went to the interior side, the rate is 200. If you come to Moreover, the rate is 195, 185. The rate is just fluctuating. Look at the economies. Everything has been broken down by this George Weah regime. Back already, 25 kg that we used to buy for 1,500 is being sold now for $25 some area you'll see it $30. Go to Loguato and go out for back already. You find it $30, $35, 25 kg. Is this what we signed out for in 2017? We say no. Go to the Federal County. See the Federal County Service Center that was built by Madam Selif, by the Joseph Boakai regime. Go see those very services. They are not functional. They are non-functional now as we speak. Non-functional as we speak. Rampant corruption is all over the country. Can the government, can the president tell us what happened to the death of those auditors? Can he give an account about the 3 Mason boys? Look, Honorable CEO, Liberians are tired. Liberians are tired. The president and all of the government officials are from the Southeast. Look at what he just showed a horse of a sitting president in his home. It's a disgrace. Look at the vice president. The vice president does not even have a kitchen in her own home. When she served as senator for over 18 years and vice president for over 6 years, not a kitchen. Each time she goes to Bon County, she either sleeps in family hall or she sleeps in guest house or hotel. That's a disgrace. Where are we going as a country? We are calling on the Liberian people. George Manuel Weah has failed. Even of the fact that he said to the Liberian people into the world that he knows nothing. He was brought into leadership by these people. Who are the people you are referring to? Twe, Mangil, Koji, Molu, and the rest of the other guys. And they brought him to power because they wanted something. Mr. President, you have getting what you wanted, and your people are getting what they wanted. Please leave the presidency. We are using this medium to call on the Liberian people to reject George Weah and his group of criminals. Vote number 2 on the ballot paper. Vote for a better Liberia. Let's think Liberia. Let's love Liberia. And together, let's build Liberia. I respectfully submit to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's bring Emmanuel Kolai. And we'll go to Jalabo. Where is Jerry? Why Jerry running away?
Should George Weah be re-elected? When I'm
will
asked
you
this
tell
question,
will you tell your family members to vote for George Weah if you call them tomorrow?
if I just talk to any of my family members to vote for George Weah, the way they will shout at me, whether they are older or younger than me, the way they will shout at me, because they are the ones feeling the impact of his leadership more than even me, who find myself outside. To be honest, when George Weah had everything to prove to us in his first term, George Weah had second term to run for. He had everything that he could have used to please us. The guy prioritized himself. When the guy got there as president, the guy started building condominiums and started acquiring wealth for himself, ignoring the Liberian people. And he didn't just acquire wealth. He did it at the detriment of the people, suffering the people, reducing their salaries, taking them from positions once they don't support his once they are not seditions. He take them from their positions. He reduced their salaries while he was acquiring wealth. Is that the man that we should make president under his regime? First term, when he should have impressed us, he should have fooled us. This guy sat there. He ignored our rule of law. The guy never had any respect for our laws. George, we are never and give any salary, I call it asset value to the people of Liberia. George, we are sat there. He undermined the rule of law by ensuring in that the mandate of the ECOWAS code has been ignored. You illegally remove an associate justice, and put the man back or give him his benefits. Where are we with that case? It has been ignored. Every day of our lives, we see the government, the ministers of his regime, they go about breaking the laws every day. Even during the electoral process, you got government vehicles, you got people using government facilities to run campaign. The president is ignorant to the things that are supposed to be mattering to the people of Liberia. Look, when Georgia inherited that country, gasoline was at 2.90 per gallon. Now, how much do we find gas for? To some extent, we don't even see the gasoline around. Is that a reason to vote for George Weah again? George Weah has become president of that country. I like the fact that he became president because it has broadened the mind of Liberians. We now understand the kind of person George Weah is. 500 years from now, George Weah or his kind can never step around the presidency. Trust me, go to Bakuya in River G. We have organic cocoa. We have bananas that people produce. Ellen tried building farm to market roads when she was there. I'm one person who is not a fan of praising the past regime because I feel that every new regime should do better than the past regime. But it is completely on the contrary when it comes to George Weah. You got marketers eating their food and it's spoiling in the rural areas because I was opportune to work in the rural areas all through. People cannot have access to market. You have people still big brothers still dying from maternal mortality because of access to road. These are things that Joria never prioritized. The millions of dollars that Joria invested in himself who have been used for the Liberian people. The guy is bent on manipulating people. He's bent on lying to people. Was that why he was depending on when he started enriching himself from the very beginning of his regime? I can tell anybody. I can tell my family, my friends, everybody connected to me one way or the other. Like I told them in 2017, if George Weah wins election, I have a means of surviving. But you are the ones who are going to suffer it. And I'm saying this again. If we sit there, whether manipulatively, whether legally, whatever means we allow George Weah senior the presidency again, the ones we experienced in the first 5+ years will be worse than what we have ever experienced. I mean, the one we are going to experience will be worse than what we have experienced in the past. Let us not empower that guy again. Because I know when Joseph Barker win this election, we are going to go for George Weah with everything we got. And trust me, we got the information and we'll bring it out at the rightful time. George Weah should never senior the president of that country because he has been he's the worst thing that has ever happened to Liberia. And we must get rid of this particular worst scenario that we have experienced, that we have put ourselves in, and make sure that we bring a change to that country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I believe that Jerry said he's not talking tonight, and so Jalahu, Sandy, go ahead.
I'm glad Jerry is not talking. He talked too much.
It's not possible, CEO. It's not possible. I said,
All
baby.
right. Jerry, go back on mute. Look, the Liberian people may be calm, may be tolerant, may be patient, but they are not stupid. The Liberian people know the struggle that they have been through on this administration. Let's look at let's look at President Weah when he came into the picture, 2005. I was still in Liberia. We saw how young people came out for President Weah. We saw 2017, how the people came out, printed their own t-shirts, were on the reign for President Weah. Now President Weah is on the reign for himself. President Weah cannot even get people now to print t-shirts. He is honored to come out. It is the opposite. That picture is distracting. President Weah standing there looking and so on, confused. So the Liberian people are responding to President Weah. They are telling President Weah, thank you. We have given you the chance. We thought that because you are part of us, you grew up here with us, you struggle with us, that you were going to face the country, rescue us. But then, instead of doing that, you created mess, brought drugs, amplified poverty. So the people know that George Weah, President George Weah, cannot be reelected, will not be reelected. The people know the struggle in the country. They are hungry. Their children are not going to school. People, professionals that used to come home with at least something in their hand to their children can no longer afford. So the issues in the country are prevailing. They are not hiding. But here is the good news, Liberian people. We have alternatives for you. We are changing the system. We're bringing someone who has not been part of the system, someone who is coming in with new ideas, someone who's ready to lead the country on day one. That is His Excellency, Honorable President, incoming President Alexander Cummings. Mr. Cummings is ready to lead the country on day one. And he has plans that has been proven based on his track record in the corporate world that he can do this job effectively, efficiently, so that Liberians, our young people, cannot just depend on government jobs. Mr. Cummings will bring in investors because he's trusted. The reason there are no investors in the country, one, there is no security. Two, George Weah, President Weah is not trusted. Mr. Cummings is trusted. He's credible. Investors will be willing to come to country to create jobs so that we all cannot just depend on government jobs. We can go into private jobs. Mr. Cummings will utilize his technological skills, his vast management skills to grow the economy, to grow the Liberian economy so that there will be jobs for our people. Mr. Cummings will not sell your resources, your natural resources, to companies that won't give you anything, like in the case of what have happened in the Western cluster, in the Western clusters. We know what recently happened in Bapolu, Cape Mao, and in that region. Mr. Cummings will sit on the table with investors, talk about the issues, prioritize Liberians, and say, look, when you are coming here to invest, if we are going to give you our mountains and our resources, the people will benefit. Liberians will benefit. Liberians will be employed. Liberians will be at the front of your companies. Not for you to bring Ghanaians on us, not for you to bring your Indians, like what is happening over there in the Western clusters. Mr. Cummings is ready to lead. He's credible. He is a blessing to the Liberian people. So don't listen to them when they say, oh, he's new. What we need is new ideas to transform the country. We know the old system hasn't worked. I respect Mr. Wakai. I respect Mr. Gonglo. I respect Moneybuy. They have been part of the old system that is not working for the Liberian people. And I believe that Mr. Cummings will bring the transformation that we need. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's bring in the wonderful Jerry.
Yeah, CEO, thank you. You know, when I came on the show initially, I forgot to pay my tribute to the people of Bapolu for the loss of their Honorable Senator Daniel Nathan. He was a very decent old man. I interacted with him for several years. May he so rest in peace. And say my deepest condolences to the people of Bapolu, to the family, and the Honorable Liberian Senate. You know, I mean, it was a very tough one at a critical stage, you know, but we cannot ask God. Yeah, but on the issue whether we should re-elect George Weah, you know, the people said they may have failed, my man. You know, that when some, you know, unsophisticated idiots were saying that George Weah get the country in her heart. So I said, but even Claire Weah said that the man married, she know what in her heart for the man. They say whole country in the man's heart.
I mean, so you see, people can just say all kinds of things. Whole country will be injured. We can say that. Like we are saying even get 5%. We is a dishonest guy. We is striving on fakeness. Why should we elect a who decided to break down his property on 9th Street and lie on his son through Smith Toby that, oh, I gave the property to my son. And, I gave the property to my son. He didn't want bidding it. So the man called his man and said, Mama, you better tell your husband. Tell your husband that the press book go back on the radio and let me be in that place. Smith Toby went back. I can recall since that time, Smith Toby, the regular press briefing disappeared. I in that place, Nelson. And, so people like that, he said, oh, let me stay building the place. You get people, when people dying, ritualistic killing, every death, everywhere you see political death and all the death. The only thing president we have to tell our CEO and my fellow panelists is that we should buy CCTV. When even there is no LEC, you changing management from one management to another, no LEC. You checking us up that we should go and get CCTV. No, President, we are sorry. We say sorry to you. We are voting you out on October 10. And that's why we are bringing JMB. We cannot re-elect George. We have to elect Joseph Newman Boaka. Joseph Newman Boaka had a well-laid-out platform. He's the only presidential candidate that have clearly indicated, his platform in line with the post-2015 development agenda. You may like to say sustainable development goals. So every aspect, we will deal with agriculture. We will revamp carry. We will improve LPMC, now called LACRA. The LACRA name was coined by JMB when he was vice president. Not many persons know that because of the interest through the World Bank, the EU. They invited him that, my man, we want to do some reform. What name do you suggest? It was JMB who suggested that. We will improve LACRA. We will make sure and build storage facilities for farmers across the country. And so this is what we're talking about. We can't let people that George we are. JMB is one person. We know exactly what we do. JMB have technicians that understand how policy works. Those policies that are now workable will be restructured in line with the 169 targets of the post-2015 development agenda. So we cannot elect George Weah, who will sit down and build 49 condominiums and go to Grand Crew and build that diet. That's why the Ghanaians, the other people, there are a lot of people. One county I gave credit to in that country in terms of going back into base structure, that Nimba County, I salute you. They are doing a lot of investment in Nimba, but other county, you go and second to that is Granji there. There are a lot of people who have invested in that county, so I gave it to Granji as well. How would Joe go to Grand Coup and go build our debt? It means that there was some people say he came from the, I know a part on the Kino, and he can be identified. And maybe he didn't come from Grand Coup. You can do that, CEO. We cannot elect. We are realized. So opposition, some of our guys were up and say, Lone Star said, because I don't like to call it a sycamore tree. The sycamore tree is a tree of transformation. When Jesus visited, that place, and Zacchaeus had to go in the sycamore tree. When he came back, he gave money back. So you cannot call that place sycamore tree. So it's right opposite Lone Star said. They don't understand. Some of them realize that, this thing is that the president doesn't want to realize. That's what we call unconscious incompetence. You don't know anything and you have not realized that you don't know anything. So how will people see the president? This is a very strong man. When you talk about it, we ask the ruling party, what do you want to tell or what you have done? Have you ended corruption? Have you improved civil service standing, in terms of the salary? You say the mandate you receive, you say, my people, the popular mandate I receive, it is a mandate to end corruption. When you notice that you got 3 of your top officials being sanctioned by the U.S. government for several crimes, including reckless corruption, then you can't talk about you came to end corruption. You have to explain. That's why I led the statement that Joseph Newman Boaka released that we will not take likely asset recovery. People who have accumulated wealth within a short period of time, we have to explain to the Liberian people, because we need to invest some of these resources. Imagine those millions of dollars that we have put down there. If you have built estates for the ordinary people in West Point, where he boasted of that voted for him, in Nikutan, The people are there. You could build real estate and leave yourself. Is that the kind of man CEO you want to re-elect? No. Re-electing it means that we will just eat grass. Imagine a man who in your first term, you can say anything about former President Sirleaf.
But let me say this, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry, I know talking is your portion. We understand that. Everybody on the show agree that talking is your portion. But
is that the perception, bro?
Yeah, that's what they got to tell me. Raymond texted me and said, Jerry will talk all night. But let me say something serious to you, Yamfoy. Why was President we are even elected? You guys, he was in the Senate. You were there. Why was President we even elected?
So if I should come in, right?
No,
let me come in. CEO.
No, I beg you, hold on, Raymond. I want Boba to speak. I know you won't come in because I about to leave you guys in 8 minutes. I want Boba to speak. Boba.
Theo, the impression from the Liberian people. Imagine since 2005, was small start hearing about Jowia, that name, Jowia. And we believe that when he come there, he will do well. Imagine Jowia go and take picture with Nelson Mandela. That one alone, hit the mind of the young people. Like, oh, this man, and people, and we that know a little history about Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was a freedom fighter. Nelson Mandela was fighting for the right thing. If they make him go and take picture of this man, right? Then maybe he can take positive advice or advices from him to lead our country. So all the expectations we're looking at, and when he played football, he went Europe, he saw the dynamic, he saw the way Europe was built. So our mind was, what that man win the election, what happened? He will go back, he will go bring players, bring people, to help build our country, to invest in the soccer, in our soccer league. So all the expectation was high for him to the extent that you sitting among somebody, I think he said job, I think he thought against job where they want to be. So that expectation, CEO, it was too much. Yeah.
So you guys are doing great. You guys hitting the numbers. The view yesterday alone is almost 16,000. So you guys reaching people across, and in and out, and you guys open the phone line. People listen to you. It's very important for you to continue. I will say this though, as we get closer to the election, it's going to get rough. Now we ain't seeing our friend, what's his name, Josh Witter. He's not on no more. You guys gave him a hard time, and I hope he can come back. I do believe. This is my parting statement. I appreciate every one of you. You can do this thing till election day and everybody will have tarry. This place is going to be jam-packed. Because on election day, nobody will be sleeping. We'll start early. They say election time will be in the morning. We'll have the first shift, second shift, and third shift. Everybody will be in and out. We'll watch and monitor the vote. But I'm going to say to you, you got to call your family members. You got to tell them, are your left better now than 6 years ago? Are you living a better life now than 6 years ago? Look at the president of the Republic of Liberia. Look at his building in his own hometown, Southtown. Look at this building. Can you imagine? He just dropped it there to fool the people and say, I care about you. Then look at the one he's living at Jamaican Resort, his 9th Street resident. And look at the other places living, those 18 condominiums he put down. What the Liberian people are suffering. The information reaching us today. While I still get about a few more minutes for you guys. Have you asked about Cloud We Are Brother? You know how much money that man making out of Liberia? How much diamond and golds and mineral resources he getting out of the country? He is well protected by AFL. George Mann, we are brother-in-law. The man can take the diamond and go and fly in the Arab country, sell them and come back. That guy from zero now, he's hero now. Well protected by George Weah. Nobody can touch him. I was at Boulevard Palace. I was in a hotel, and he came in a hotel. Another fissy man. He can't even say the hello good. You know he's from Jamaica. Another fissy man. But the man is getting rich all of Liberia. How can Liberians sit there? Where will Chloe at? How much she got in the budget? Does she deserve it? Then when you say this thing, the people around you, where I say you must be quiet. Why would you give her that money? Thank God her son making money. Why you add another millions upon millions in the budget for her? What is she doing for Liberian young women? Can anybody tell me the one thing the woman have ever done in 6 years for the young girls, the young women in the country? Just one thing she have ever done in 6 years? Why would your sister vote for Joria? Why would your sister vote for her? Why would the government give her all that money to take to Jamaica? This is serious. This is no joke. You can never, ever, ever, ever tell your family member to vote for Joria. He cannot be voted in again. You have destroyed our nation. Talk about extrajudicial killing. Look at what Lester Tenney said today. I mean, a few days ago. Lester Tenney said they're part of it. They know who killed those editors, those auditors. They know who killed them. This is scary, guys. And we sit here on the show every day. Our family member call and beg for money. We need to tell them. Anyone from the opposition but Joria. Where do you think Joria is standing? Under the rain. And I like what Jalaba said. People used to stand under the rain for Joria. Now Joria standing under the rain for them. He said, hey man, I mess up. People used to stand under the rain for this man. When the man heard that Joseph Barker came back in the country, he decided to go under the rain. And yet and still when he did that, just look at the response from the people. And the people telling Joria, he was there screaming. This is what he was saying.
Economy. Today, we have the most female in our government. Even the president, you could ask you. Today, you have a press freedom.
You guys know at first, right? A lot of people used to believe those lies, right? At first, he used to fly with them. But now, no way. People know the real Joria. After that thing, the man went to Jamaica Resort. Just after that thing, he went to play cool. You know what they do to Jamaica Resort? Joria will never go back to the mansion. Everything now is Vlad, a deal and cover hole. Even sedition, no. Sedition are flipping over. You heard what Mobile Model said recently? Oh, we'll play that one for you guys tomorrow. Minister between, they can call me. Now they say, I just want to protect them because you know how the country is. They can call me and they see you, they won't finish. They can call me. They see you, we can talk, but they won't finish. They are calling and saying that it's finished. So imagine, only thing they don't want to be revealed at this time. But second round, I can tell every one of you guys, you will see Minister flying. I leave this for you. Where is Edwin Snow right now? Who can tell me? I'll leave this for you. Try to do your homework. Edwin Snow is not in the country. Edwin Snow doing everything not to be by Joria in saying that I am supporting you. He's doing everything possible. Edwin Snow, he kept himself on the ECOWAS mission. Imagine though, what Jerry, they sent it close, right? But Edwin Snow on ECOWAS mission. He will be there till the 15th or 17th of this month. He will come back, spend 3-4 days, then he will leave again. Then you will not see Edwin Snow again till close to the month end in September. Edwin Snow is doing everything. He doesn't want to be seen with Joria. What we are hearing, the men don't even want to get close to Jowiah.
See, credible information.
Jowiah.
The man is going to get on the ECOWAS mission. He will represent the ECOWAS parliament on the mission that is scam.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm telling the people.
Yeah.
The man is doing everything possible. He said, my man, you bring my man Tony in. You know Tony went to school in Liberia. If you guys know who Tony is in ECOWAS. The man is doing everything he does. He doesn't want the people of Bomi County to see him with Jowiah. So he will be out there. He will come back for a few days. He will check out again. Because seeing him with Jowiah, Bomi is resolved. There is no chance he will be re-elected in Bomi. So Edwin Snowplane is safe. And I can tell you, if this election should go to second round, all the guys are going to cross over. Jowiah will be, and Jowiah more pray. If Joseph Boyka beat Jowiah by 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, 6 points in round one, Jowiah is done. Everybody will cross over.
But see you don't think the election is having like late 1 or 2 hands like want to try to rig the election? Like you don't think so?
But the thing that people say, they people say they're bigger than them and do it. Nobody's scared. Yeah. You know what people saying? They say we're begging to let him do it. You know the message that came from somewhere that I can tell you?
No.
Hey, I said that one party will get very 2 African nations. I will say to you, I'm not calling name because you know I hear everything. Even today, they got it sent back to Sierra Leone. A family member called me, I brought them on the show. I will be speaking to some of them from Sierra Leone. 2 African nation leaders, they say they dare Jowiah to try to see the election. I can never tell you follow more. They say they're backing CDC government to see the election. They say they are backing. They're backing CDC government. They say, please see the election. 2 things happen. You either go back to build a door or you go back to build a chastity. You take which one you want to take. This is important. They say allow the sleeping lion or the sleeping dog to lay, right? This is important. If Jowiah, you heard his current message, he know what's up. He cannot allow his people to fool him to rig election. He cannot. President Jowiah won't live to enjoy his money. He cannot allow his people to rig. He cannot allow Samuel Tuer to fool him. He wants to live to enjoy his money. He wants to live to see his children and grandchildren. He cannot allow Samuel Tuer to fool him. Johnson Koji to fool him. Anybody to fool him to rig election. He cannot. That is not in Jowiah Jane. No way. He cannot. The men are enjoy too much. He cannot afford to cause problem in the country. And nobody want problem. Nobody want problem. So I must tell you this. It's very important for me to tell you this. What we are hearing, if any market put foot, the bush will shake. And the people saying the dead people to rig the election. The election will be free. The election will be, people will make down a 10. But trust me, it will go no further because this election must happen. And somebody will win. And that person will win and Liberia will be a new Liberia. The thing about people, nobody will. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come here a little, right?
That's just sleeping. Let me show up.
Talking about Jowiah not being the kind.
Oh, Nelson is sleeping?
No.
Talking about Jowiah not being the kind to be brave enough to rig election. But this is the man under his regime, under his watch, where auditors got killed. 8 auditors in the period of a month.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Since Jowiah left for Langley, anybody done that?
No.
Since Jowiah left for the CIA headquarters, anybody done that?
No.
You can go sleep, man. Since Jowiah left, the last visit that he came, and he went by, you don't see anybody die? Let Jowiah try it. Let me tell you something. This is very important to know.
But see, they took casket every day.
Yeah, that casket.
They took casket.
I will tell you what in that casket. Let me tell you something seriously. This election, is very, very important to the United States. This election is very, very important to the world. Make no mistake. This election, if the United States have never spent any more money than any past election, this election, they will spend everything. The European Union will spend everything. Everybody will spend because the region needs to be saved. And what George Manuel have created, his group of hooligans, they are about to destroy the nation. So the world will sit and they will act before that happens. And I leave this with you guys. You have a good night. Thank you for doing this all the time. Thank you guys for coming. Continue to come. Invite your brothers and sisters. We need to talk about Liberia. We need to talk about our country. We cannot stay in exile forever. No. People need to go back home.
See you before you leave. See you before you leave. I just wanted to make two statements so that we try to emphasize on it a little bit for the sake of our audience. One thing has to do with the election because, like Moba mentioned, there's these rumors of fear going around to, in our community that the election will be rigged. We also have to be honest with the people, like you just said. That's why the statement that you just made right now is so important, because we have to let them know that do not be deterred. Go and vote and make sure to protect your ballot. Because if these sort of messages are going around with the narrative that the election is going to be rigged, some people don't want to be part of the problem. Say, I'm going to sit home. So let's be sincere with the messaging that we're sending out. We shouldn't instill fear in our people that election is going to be rigged. That's why I was trying to tell Molba, like, we have to be careful the kind of wording that we send out, because our people, we are peace-loving people. Some people don't want to be part of that problem. If the old man who want to vote, know that something going to happen, she's going to sit home. She's going to caution her children or her family members, don't go. That's number one. Number two that I want us to highlight on again is that we shouldn't send this narrative after our people that someone will just come in government and steal money and they go scot-free. Let us inform our people that whatever is going on in the real regime in terms of corruption, that there will be consequences with the new government, that they will be held accountable. Let us start to inform our citizens that, yes, we are saying this so we can be on record. So if the new government comes in and they do not take action against this past regime, hold us accountable.
One thing I will say to you that, Sheriff, because I've
Yes.
already got to go, is 12:09. I made a mistake. I thought it was 11:09. Let me say this to you. One thing I know, after the election, whosoever, if it is not George Weah, that plane you see George Weah flying with a call private jet, I can tell you guys for free, they will ground that plane. If that plane for anybody from Ivory Coast or whatsoever, they will come and give reason why they give that plane to George Weah and how much money they have gotten. If that plane belonged to George Weah, I can tell you for free, George Weah will be held responsible for using the country money. That plane, you know how many people looking at that plane? You know how many people watching that plane? Brother, don't let nobody fool you. Liberia will be better. Senator will be persecuted. The guys that were facing the law. Make no mistake, if Joe Weah not president after October 10, you will see what will be happening. October 11, if Joe Weah start begging, don't believe me. October 12, if Joe Weah start calling ECOWAS leader to beg, don't believe me. This thing the government doing, and think they will walk, they will not walk. They will not. It will be a door-eat-door. They will prosecute them. The Cummings will prosecute. The Joseph Boakai will prosecute, because you know who on the jugular vein? The Liberian people on the jugular vein. Any leader that will take over and choose to play Yaka and Tamata with the Liberian people, that leader will get, but you don't let out talk, man. You don't let out talk. You have a good night. Let's keep some for the more. But you can reassure the
CEO,
Liberian
before you
people.
go, because CEO,
See, we living together because we came together.
Why the man want?
Your
Why the
lady
man want
see
to
we
leave
living
me
together.
for? Why the man want to leave with me for?
Just give me 30 seconds.
Cherry,
30
let
seconds.
us see
No,
you
because I'm
go,
going
man.
somewhere. I
Thank
went
you.
my train. No, 1 minute. The issue of cheating election and stuff.
Jerry, don't bring
That's
trouble.
fine.
Listen to you. Don't bring trouble. Listen to
No,
you,
that's
my
about
man.
listen. I from Roger, that man from Sino. That man, me don't tell you from the same side. If I me don't tell you, sir.
Me don't tell you
Cheating
from
election, we are
Lexington.
knows. Yeah, he's from Lexington.
All right.
He's from Lexington. Yeah. So cheating is out of the stuff. People like we are, and the reason why he turned that man over, because the same thing that happened in Sierra Leone, they want to be helping each other. You knew that Sierra Leone did not turn Henry Costa over the last time. So they sat down now that I'm meditating and coming go to election. Maybe I want to do the same thing. Citizens were celebrating. Oh yeah, saying Marabio won that kangaroo election where citizens had serious issue with disagreement from several international organizations. People are being aggrieved. So where is a fair? But let me say this as I leave. Our people, I encourage you. The bag of rice, you can carry for 6 years. All of us will not know that they may get even half for anything in your half for a while before you get a country at heart. They making enrich himself. He flies private jet. He lied to people and tell them that the economy is working. Oh yeah, the economy is working in Jamaica. So if you see him now, you're not sitting down in Jamaica resort, enjoying and jumping on the ring to kind of lie to you, I'd like to say kudos to those who boo him in District 8. That we tired with this thing, the fakeness. You come and lie to us, you didn't do anything. The first day, CEO, you brought propo rice, say, well, $10. Which policy analysis was done? Which policy analysis? It means that he's a faker. You can't find propo rice. People were jumping here and there for rice a few days. As soon as they came, oh, Javier bro, president, where is that? Like big vla. That man is a faker.
Joanna
should
ate the
not
people
listen
11.
to
They ate the people $11 million for rice and no rice on the market. But
Yeah.
guys, have a good
Yeah,
night.
but Robo,
So
no accountability.
Sheikh Sharif,
Yeah,
Sharif,
COVID-19
salam
money.
alaikum.
Yeah.
All right, Vakan
COVID-19 money
Banda,
is not
thank
there.
you. Raymond, thank you.
Everything are
Jerry,
fiasco.
let's
So,
go.
guys,
Let leave.
I'll see you
Jerry,
guys.
let
Man,
leave the
I'm
people
running.
show.
I gotta run somewhere.
You got nowhere to run, Jerry. Just go home, man. You already home. Bye.
Oh my man.
Thank you, CEO, and good night.
That's it. I say, yeah, thank you, man. You take care. Bye bye.
Yeah. So folks, we will go to the line. We will go to the lines and take some calls. Is it like Moba, are you driving? Hey, Moba had to leave. Moba, you can be driving and be on the show, my man.
Yeah, my bad driving.
Okay, so we'll
I'll
go
be
to the line.
there listening. At a 5 minute
Okay. Okay, sure. So we'll go to the lines and take some calls. Let me just ping the number on the screen that the folks out there can call. It's a great thing that you all have made your contributions to the discussion tonight. The best we can do is to keep talking about the issues in the country, not to fight. We can have the disagreements, but these discussions are very, very, very healthy as we go along. So we'll go to the lines. I don't know why the females did not join us today again, and then we couldn't get someone from CDC. We couldn't get someone from the Rainbow Alliance. We need people from all those different political parties to come on. But it's like the guys are shying away. I don't know why. But we okay, I think I have the number on the screen now. Yes. No, this is not the number. Okay, so folks, those of you who already have the number, okay, you can make a contribution. So last evening we discussed the situation, the statement made by Dr. Lester Tenney and Councillor Jerome Verdier called in at the end of the show. He wanted to make a contribution. So he reached out. but he has some very important pieces of information he want to pass on that particular issue. So I'm trying now to see if we can connect with Councillor Verder. If we can get him, then he will make his point. Right after that, then we go on to take calls. But if we can't get him, then we just take 10 calls. We will take 10 calls and then we wrap up. Wow. It's like Councillor Verder is not reachable now. It's like we can't get him. So we need you guys now to call in. Call the number that's on the screen. You can call via WhatsApp. We will appreciate, or you can also call direct, whichever way. We appreciate if you can call to make a contribution tonight on the show. We discussed the president's speech, his message today to the people of Liberia in District 8, Montserrat County, and we also talked about the positions of the different political parties and so forth. So we'll go to the lines and see if we take this person. Good morning. Good morning. No, we lost this person. Wow. So let's see if we take this person. Oh, again, I don't know what's happening here. We lost this person, but you can call the number on the screen. Right there. You can call any of the numbers on the screen via WhatsApp. We will be able to take you. So let's see if we can get this person coming through. Hello. Good morning. Wow. Again, we're not getting this person through. But I see Alfred, you coming in very late today. Were you backstage or what?
The CEO kept me backstage so ever so long. So and he was controlling it something here, so he kept me in the back. I don't have a problem with it. We got a long way to go. So I appreciate the fact that you brought me in. But however, I came in late because I had other engagement, on the clock here, we gotta make the money first, to take care of the family, all of that. So it's something that we have to sacrifice. So coming in late, please forgive me,
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But I've been following the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just get people to make their contributions. Then you just close up with everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have the first person in the line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. We're okay. Let's hear you.
Okay. This is the voice of Matari Cedric Wapiti. I do join you from Waterloo, Iowa.
Okay. Go ahead. Make a contribution.
So so today I watched the president speaking, and he said like everything he's the best since 1847. But surprisingly, what is so contradicting is that the president has claimed to be the best president, but he's campaigning as if like he's not the best president, and he failed to understand that being the best president, he should just be relaxing in the comfort of his home and just wait for October 10th and be reunited. But he's the only president that is campaigning more than any other presidential candidate at this point in time. He also forgot to mention that he's the only president since 1847 who has built more homes. He's also forgetting he's the only president who has elevated corruption to the level that our country has never seen since 1847. So the president's speech was so contradicting, and I think he did me well.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution. Let's take this person. Hello.
Good morning, Nelson.
Yeah, good morning. Go ahead, sir.
This is Gordon Doe calling from Pennsylvania, USA.
Go ahead, Gordon.
Good evening, guys. Good morning, wherever you may be. Thanks for the show, and I followed the discussion at work, and you guys did a brilliant job tonight. The discussion were all fruitful. Thanks to the panelists. All we can say that come October 10, the CDC government will be a formal ruling party.
Thank you.
There's no doubt about that. Liberians are resolved to get the CDC government out. Thank you.
Thank you
for taking my call.
Thank you very much for your contribution, brother. Let's go ahead and take this person here. Okay, I got Daniel Bunder. Okay, hello, Daniel Bunder. It's great to have you on the show, my brother.
the United States. This is Daniel Bunter, and I'm calling from Minnesota.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Well, following the show, well, not too long ago, but it has to do with Liberia, and it's quite important that as young men like you all sitting discussing the issues, tonight, and you guys have continued to do over the past few weeks. Let me just get straight to the point. I was in Liberia. I left from Liberia in 2017. And to all of those that will be voting this year, regardless of who you vote for, let's be very honest with ourselves and true to understand that Liberia is difficult to survive, to live in at this point. Because just in 2017, right here, we used to start there for 70 LD. Nowadays, I don't live there anymore. Like, I've been blessed to be out of there. But I'm very sure that Liberians can now join to buy a Kobo for 400. And 70 Liberian Naira is just for Rambo money. Let's look at these issues and make our choices, because our future depends on us and our voting at the polls. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother, for your contribution. I appreciate it. Thanks a whole lot. So we take this person. Okay, so let's get you coming. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning. You live. Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, this is Hassan Douglas calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I really like the late night show and highly interesting. And we really like the momentum, how you guys are giving. Yeah, back to what the CEO was saying, my concern has to do with whether they'll be cheating or not. This government, the opposition should not rely on peaceful. Because the reason why I'm saying peace, every day diplomatic talk, it will not solve all problems. If you can remember, during ADD election, senatorial election, the way in which the guy was behaving, now you don't have to come out and make some threatening remark. Last minute time, Davis declare or CDC Kennedy has a winner. It surprised everybody at the end of the day to call Diddy as a winner. So they should not really approach diplomatic every time. So if they will always try their best to see whether the opposition have a weakness. And if they realize that they have weakness, they will really work on that. So at least everybody can be diplomatic, but at least whenever they see force, they should come out and say something that will really make them to feel that indeed force is for everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. Thanks a lot. So we'll take 4 more calls and then we'll wrap up. Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost this person. So we go back to the line and see if we bring this person in. But interestingly, guys, the females are not even calling. They're not on set and they're not even calling. It's only the men. It's the political discussion only for men. That's the question I'm asking myself. Let's take this person. Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Quickly, make your point, sir.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. This is Siddiqui Ability. I am calling from North Dakota. I just want to say big thank you to every one of you on the panel tonight. And the simple message I have for the Liberian people is nobody should be intimidated by any statement by anybody from the CDC government that something is going to happen, like the election is going to be rigged, like other previous speakers have said. Everybody that is eligible to vote, that has a voter card on that day, October 10th, should come out and cast their vote for JNB to get these guys out of power. Nobody should be intimidated. Nothing's going to happen. Election will be free and fair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. I saw Councilor Verda was trying to come in. We'll just end up with him because he has some very sensitive information to release here on the show. But while we await his call, let's squeeze this person in. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Nelson. This is Tom.
Okay, Tom, it's great to have you. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, sorry guys, I couldn't come on tonight because I'm kind of busy at work. I listened to the show and it was a great discussion, fruitful one. It's laughable. It's laughable for a dog because say bio medicine to be making all the crazy talk that he's the best person ever.
Let's watch our words now as well. This is a family show. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, I do apologize. He will go straight to his Jamaica area and just retire. Because come out to him to say your man brother gonna retire because we are going to again.
Okay.
However, all his surrogates will get ready for prostitution. The work that they got overnight will be accountable because I know.
Thank you.
On day one, when President Biden get in the power, he's gonna prosecute everybody.
Thank you.
Work overnight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. We appreciate. Let's just finally get Councilor Verder on now. We're gonna end up on with Councilor Verder. Okay, so we're trying to get him. He tried. Okay, so Councilor Verder, it's great to have you on the show. You're live on the Late Night Politics and Spoon.
Thank you, Nelson. And
yeah, there's a device you are using to follow the show. We appreciate if you could just lower that device, so that, or maybe you could just walk away from it so that we don't have that feedback that we're getting.
I got that. I wasn't just attentive. That's why I got it. Thank you.
Okay, it's okay now. Much better.
Thank you very much, and you guys are doing very well. I'm looking forward to joining you guys on set. Maybe soon I will come in and we can all sit and spend the night together.
Okay.
But the discussion again was lively, and Raymond gave some vital information that confirms with the information that we have. In all of Mr. Weah's construction and all of that, have we ever heard of competitive bidding as the law requires? Who are building those projects? What is the cost of those projects? No information. The mansion and everything, Raymond has clarified it. But I'd like to take us back to Mike Gay and what Dr. Tenney said.
Yeah.
If you remember, it was Mike Gay who activated the ex-combatants. He organized them. He brought them together. He organized them, gave them an office in Morovia, gave them a government car, and they made a demand on Yeke Koruba. If Honorable Koruba doesn't come forward, they will deal with it. We know what we did to defuse that situation. But since then, we monitor what they were doing. And so they were organized, they were deployed in different parts of the country, and sales were organized, and that's how Jefferson Kuji came in. And then he took over the militia. So they were not only retraining other people who were in ex-militias, but they armed them as well. All of the killings were carried out by these people. Some of them have gone to jail. Some of them, when there is cry out for them, they will put them in jail to hide them, so that when the public forgets about them, then they bring them back out. The 3 missing boys, we investigated that case. We went on Ashford show and we explained from point 1 to the end, how those boys were kidnapped, how they were hijacked, and how they were used as sex slaves, and how they were executed and buried. All of those who were involved, we named them on Ashford Gadi show. Then beyond that, the missing auditors. Then the EPS officer. Prince Johnson came up and said he was around and he saw what happened. It confirms what we had investigated. The only thing Prince Johnson, they didn't know who was the second person who was there during the killing. We have all two of them names. It's all in our report. And like we said, some of what we say, if we had a chance to come to Monrovia, was that credible government will release the information so they will be prosecuted. I won't say much about the Royal Scott thing, because that's what they do with the information. They destroy evidence. They try to magnify the evidence in one way or another. But it is good to say that we have investigated all of those cases. We have the findings. Even Matthew Innes, we discovered, is related to Nathaniel Magee. He's supposed to be the brother of Nathaniel Magee's wife. And during his killing, Nathaniel Magee didn't know the details of what was going on. But he himself was surprised later on to find out that what he had put in action has actually affected his in-law. So Nathaniel Magee was in the know, and most of those boards were turned over to Jefferson Koji when he was leaving government. As we speak, there are about 35 ex-generals who are now at City Hall and working directly with Jefferson Koji on different programs. Because we have spoken out, they have slowed down, and the community also has taken note. Things have slowed down, but they are still active, and they are waiting for elections. Of recent, the campaign when it started, my informants got back to me and said the Unity Party people were very wise not to engage those guys, because the mercenaries they brought in from Burkina Faso were all in the midst of those CDC people who went to the streets. And all of them were armed with knives. They were armed with knives. But all of this area information we get, we share with the international community. So they are aware. And as the CEO said, they better not cheat on, they better not think about cheating the elections. They will try. And like somebody said at the beginning, elections are rigged not at the time of voting, long before. And the process has been rigged ever since. But we are at the dying moment now. It is up to the opposition parties to put the mechanisms in place to make sure that the last plans do not go into operation. Mr. Weah knows that he is out, and he's lobbying around with the ECOWAS sub-region. You see them flying out of that. The agenda is to make sure there's no elections. That's the kind of thing they are working on. But we thank God the opposition is prepared. Nobody wants trouble. The recent one they brought, the opposition had let it slide just to avoid trouble, because we all want this election to end peacefully. That would be it.
Wow. Any of you have a question for Councillor Verla just before I can come in?
Yes, I'd like to ask Councillor Verdio when he talk about the masquerade. Okay. Yeah. You talk about the masquerade that's going on in West Africa as it relates to Joshua trying to appease other West African countries, just so that if for any reason they hijack the election, they will have a safe haven. Do you really believe African leaders in the sub-region will really allow that?
I don't think so. You still talking? I'm not hearing you.
No, he's done. He's done. He's done.
Oh, okay. I think I heard your question. If West African leaders will support that, I don't think so. West Africa is at the moment in a crisis situation. And the international community is blaming the leaders for what is happening. And it's all because of bad governance. In the case of Sierra Leone, what he did, that was wrong. There is a breach of international law. There is a breach of Liberian law. There is a breach of even the ECOWAS covenants. That is a breach. Free citizen, free movement. If you want to remove somebody out of your country, you have to give them due process of law. Our Supreme Court said it recently, even in the case of Liberians who had dual citizenship, that led to what we have now. You cannot just remove somebody or prevent somebody from doing something without getting the court involved. Whatever the evidence they had against the Sierra Leoneans who were sent back to Sierra Leone, they should have brought them to court so we all can have the privilege of knowing the information they have against them. But he did that to appease Sierra Leone so that in case of trouble, Sierra Leonean troops can come over to back him up. But just to answer your question, yes, that is a very, very weak position that ECOWAS will not accept. The international community will not accept. There's no bolstering of dictators and looters of elections, no. Otherwise, what has been happening around will continue to happen. Okay. And Africa, UN, the US are all frowning on it. Okay. Nobody accepts what is happening and nobody wants it to continue.
Okay, we'll take any two more questions for.
Yes, me coming quickly. Okay. Thank you for joining. Yeah, thank you for joining us, Councillor Jerome Verdon. My questions to you is, I want to know what is the rationale behind President we are not wanting the elections to be held. Is there any hidden thing? I'm done, Councillor.
Simply because from what I've gathered and from what I know they have discussed, he doesn't like defeat. He considers himself to be the best in the world. He considers himself to be number one in everything in Liberia. That is why he hasn't supported sports in any way. He doesn't even want to see another Liberian soccer star rising up. He wants to be the best. And as you know, and as nonsensical as it sounds, he says he is the best president in Liberia ever since 1847. So even J.K. Rowers, who managed to preserve our independence, and other presidents who fought for our independence, he says they have done nothing. But we know of the project he says he has completed. All of us have discussed it tonight. So he doesn't want to face a defeat. He's trying to avoid a defeat. And he's trying to tell them he prefers, and his exact words, he prefers to turn it over to an interim president than turn it over to members of the opposition, precisely GMB or commies. He doesn't want anything like that to happen. Okay. So he doesn't want to face defeat. In his psychology, he has not been defeated before. He doesn't want to face it now on the broad stage as it is.
Final question. Final question from Ture. Ture, you wanted to come in with a question?
Thank you, Councilor over there. But look, with everything we know now about this government, in your estimation, do you really think this government has what it takes to rig this election?
Yeah. Does the government have the capacity to do that?
To succeed is one thing, and to attempt is another thing. They have the capacity to disrupt our electoral process because they are in power, they have money, they have the security forces at their control. They have the capacity to disrupt, as I said. They have the capacity to attempt to rig the elections in every way possible. They brought in their Russian agents. And when the alarm was blown, they had to change the initial hotel they went in. And I think one or two persons mentioned here about hacking. Okay, so the Elections Commission, as I checked, they say they are going to make sure that the electoral process is not linked to the internet or to any intranet. They're going to make sure it is done physically as it has been done before. But the tallying of results, and that's the one that is in the hands of poll watchers and the opposition. And we have encouraged them. You have to make sure you have sufficient poll watchers at the polling stations.
Okay.
Let me ask one question, please.
Yeah, to take a lead, somebody should be there to replace him. If one person is taking a break to drink water, somebody should be there to replace him. And before they start a count, they should make sure the bottles are empty, and they should count each bottles that are being given out, and those bottles should be signed. Because one of the plans they have, somebody will go into a vote, And instead of casting one ballot, he wants to cast the 4 other ballots that he brought in his pocket. But the political parties are being elected for that. They have to put a mechanism to avoid that.
Okay.
And what they are instituting now is that before even the elections are announced, the results would have been known to the political parties based upon what happened on the field.
Okay.
But
I
mean,
I got a follow up. Can I ask the council a follow up?
That was actually the last question, but let's just get your questions coming. Yeah, mobile
Yeah,
and
it's not like
I got a follow up.
Sheriff, you already asked your question. Whisper.
No, I didn't ask. I didn't ask no question.
You didn't ask the question?
No.
I didn't want to ask, and I got a follow up when you talk about the election commission. So I didn't want to ask a follow up.
Okay, so ask your follow up. Let's have mobile to ask, and then Sheriff. Let's just ask all the questions together so he responds to them.
Okay. Yeah, Councilor Verdia, there has been serious concern about the election census. And we also know there has been conflict of interest at the National Election Commission. And also we also know that there have been some internal wrangling at the National Election Commission between commissioners. Given all these scenarios and events that we have witnessed over the past few months, do you really believe that the Election Commission will have the credibility to ensure that we have a free and fair election?
Okay, so that's one question. Let's.
No, the Elections Commission lost that credibility a long time ago. But we are trying, from what I see from the political parties, they are trying to manage this situation. And then, secondly, the results of the census is yet to be confirmed or institutionalized as an official results of the census process. So it means the election process is proceeding illegally because the census is supposed to inform it. And there are a number of credibility issues raised with the Elections Commission, even how they were selected. In the past, we raised that, but I think the opposition is prepared to manage with the situation, and not being proactive is not good. But where we are now, we are at the last minute, barely 2 months away. Everybody will want to wait and see. So I have informed most opposition actors. Well, in a situation like this, the most you can do now is to protect the votes.
Okay.
Make sure that the votes are properly counted and the results of the counts reflects the verdict of the Liberian people. That's the last saving grace for the process. Otherwise, of course, they have a free hand to do what they want to do.
Okay, so I think we're done, right?
I want to ask about our.
Can I make a
our
comment
invalid-
before the councilor leaves?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe we can do it. No, do it you, but maybe we can do it tomorrow. That's fine.
It's
But I
just
want
a
to ask that
comment.
question actually. That invalid vote.
Okay, so yeah, so Maba and Sharif, you both can ask a question. Then Raymond will make the comment he wanted to make.
All right. Good morning, Councilor Friday. How the morning?
Fine, my brother, not bad. Thank you.
All right, good. My question, according to my sources that I gather, they said that the election ranking will be based on the invalid vote. Meaning, if Joseph Walker is leading on a wide margin, what they would do, they will use half of his margin like invalid. How can that be possible? Can you show any light on that?
Okay, so then let's take the final question from Sharif. Yeah, Sharif, go ahead.
Good evening, Councilor Verdier. My name is Sharif. So I have this question for you. I understand you have laid out some of things that could possibly happen. And I'm a firm believer that we should always try to inform our people that they should not be deterred and they should go out and vote regardless of all the negative that have been laid out. With that being said, what are some of the mitigating factors or remedies that the electorate or voters in general can implement in order to avoid these things from happening? Because all the things that we just named are possibilities. However, there should be a mitigation factor or something that can be done to eliminate this from happening. And I think we need to be clear with that to our people. They need to understand so that they won't be fear monger, thinking that going to vote is going to be in vain, and they shouldn't go at all.
Okay. So, Councilor Verla, you can just respond to the two questions.
Yes, and I will respond to them all at once. Sheriff made a valid point. It is important that we inform our supporters and the electorate sufficiently about their role in elections. Managing the elections, all that happening, the political thing, other people's are there. But the role of the electorate is to vote. So you do your part, just go and vote. The rest of the machinery will be managed by other people who are equally charged. Educate our people and encourage them, just as Sherry has said, that your votes are protected, and the political parties should let people know that we have people who will be there to check their votes, and so your votes will be properly checked. Despite all that is happening, we know the intention of the government, but please just go and vote. Your vote will not be in vain. And don't say, oh, because my candidate will not win or be victorious, so I don't care about voting. I don't have an interest in it. All the votes will be rigged, and so because of that, I will not go and vote. You never know how the numbers will play out. Go and vote. That's your duty as a citizen. That's your right as a citizen to vote. Go and vote. The rest, let's leave it with history. And in Liberia, we say God will decide. Yes, let God decide. But our politicians, our institutions, our governance structure is there to make sure things happen the way it should happen.
Okay.
And in the case of invalidating votes, that's another mechanism they could use. But the political parties have to train their representatives. Under the law, you only invalidate a vote when the decision of the voter is not clear. If you cannot examine the ballot and determine that this voter has voted for one person, then you invalidate the vote. But if the action of the voter on the ballot comes close to at least one candidate, yes, then that's the decision of the voter. But when the voter tends to mark between 1 and 2, or between 2 and 4, or mark twice, you cannot determine the decision of the voter because the voter is not there sitting with you. In that case, that vote may be validated. And it has validity based upon the recent exercise that was conducted by the Elections Commission. And I think my institution made a comment about that. How can you have a process in which the invalid votes are more than the valid votes that you have counted? But anyway, since we reject the referendum in its total, no problem. We accept the result the way it is. Okay, it means that more people rejected it. That is why those who were invalidated are more than those who said yes. So the results were invalidated and the referendum was rejected.
Okay.
That's how there was not much about it. But for the elections, it becomes a crucial thing when valid votes counted in favor of one candidate is ruled out to be invalid.
Okay.
But everybody should be sitting down there when the votes are being checked. Nobody should be tired and say, I need to go home. No.
Okay.
People should be there. If people have to work on shift, that's where volunteers come in. Let them work on shift. Those who are there in the morning can retire. Those who are in the afternoon can go first shift, second shift, third shift, whatever the case, just to make sure we protect our votes. Somebody was saying the U.S. is taking these elections very seriously. And the reason why they are taking it very seriously is because of corruption.
Okay.
And they need a partner to help prosecute corruption in Liberia. People spoke of properties. And a lot of the properties that have been acquired outside of Liberia have been identified already. But they just need a good government to which they can surrender all of these properties, especially cash.
Okay.
You know, and just the last comment in that direction why U.S. takes it so seriously. The U.S. dollars we use is the property of the U.S. government. So if you use any greenback illegally, you are violating the laws of the United States, whether you are a United States citizen or not. It gives the American government authority to come over you, no matter where you are, no matter whatever country. And they are determined to exercise that. In the case of Liberia, that's why they want the elections to be free and fair, so that they can decide who to work with. Sitting on the fence and watching Liberia go down this way is not the best people hope for Liberia. It's not the best we ourselves hope for our country. We hope to see a change. And if we do not put in a new leadership, I'm just sorry, a lot of us here will not go home just now. The same reasons you are still here will be multiplied, that you have no good or valid reason to go back to Liberia because people are just so fast. Okay, gentlemen, thanks so much for your time and audience.
Thank you very much, Councilor Verder, for showing up here. And as you said, we look forward to having you on set one. Just maybe one day when you have the time to do so. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilor.
So 1 minute, do I make my comment before the councilor leaves?
Oh.
He left already?
Yeah,
Raymond.
Already.
Okay, so the comment I wanted to make is about something he already said. You know, I supervise the pool washer for the United Party during the 2017 elections. And I witnessed the CDC doing bottle stuffing. They had guys on the scene with cross bags. And when they find some of their strong members, they will call them off the line, give them those ballot papers. So I observed there was something happening. And in fact, the CDC had infiltrated the United Party so much that they had some sedition pretending to be pool washers for the United Party. So I knew I had to pick up some things. So I had to go in there and ask one of the guys out to observe these guys that were coming. And so I observed that some of the ballot papers were more, bringing them to drop in the ballot box were different than the others.
Your audio is terrible, Raymond.
Wow.
Yeah. Your audio is terrible.
But I believe that's when opposition collaboration comes in, because if you have 22 other political parties and they all have one candidate each, that's when you collaborate. Because I'm quite sure no matter how it is, they cannot infiltrate the entire 22 people represented, because I know some candidate going to have multiple representative in there. So that's when the collaboration comes in.
Yeah.
So
I want to say thank you very much, guys.
When I go there, I go, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, they may need to go to sleep, man. I ain't go to sleep. Thank you so much.
It's just to let me say 6 minutes to 5 a.m. here. So I gotta go.
We're going and you coming?
And the man gotta close. We gotta close.
No closing,
no closing, man. No, let that man go.
We gotta go.
But Nelson, moving forward, if we leave it at 12,
we're going to show today. Not even tomorrow. Today we'll be on the show, my man.
Well, let me just squeeze my little 2 cents in because since I
good night, Nelson. Good night, Nelson.
We all squeeze our 2 cents.
Okay, if you want me to keep it, I'll keep it. But let me just
good night, Nelson. Just go.
I promise you'll be the first person I'll bring in studio. Once I see you backstage, you'll be the very first person.
You're coming tomorrow. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. I've been here for exact 8 hours.
I mean, you well, man.
Green time is 5 a.m., so I gotta go.
It's all right.
Good night, gentlemen.
You well, my man.
Good night, Nelson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you, man. Doing well, our grand people. Thank you.
We appreciate you,
Thanks
Nelson.
a whole lot. I appreciate. Well, folks, we want to say thanks for participating on the program. Thanks for being a part of the late night politics on Spoon. This is a platform that is available to everyone. And we need people from all sides, from every political party to come on, whether you're from the Unity Party, the CDC, Council of Tiawan Gonglo's Liberian People's Party, or the Rainbow Alliance, just wherever you find yourself, you are free to come on. That's why we post the link consistently in the comment section of the broadcast, so that you can just come on. We also want to have females on the show as well, so that the ladies can be able to speak on those different issues of concerns. But I want to say thanks a lot for following the program tonight. Join us tomorrow for another fascinating edition. Until then, I'm Nelson Colette. Have for yourselves a good night. And bye-bye for now. Have for yourselves a good night. Let me see if I can get this coming on. Okay, so good night, guys. Bye-bye.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to